Coffee in Tow is an interactive world news podcast, a dynamic and engaging live show that streams across multiple internet radio stations worldwide. This podcast brings you real time news updates, in depth analysis, and interactive discussions on global events, making you a part of the conversation no matter where you are. With a diverse range of expert guests and listener participation, it's your go to source for staying informed and connected to the world. Coffee in Tow is brought to you in part by Lormel Skin Food. Log on to lormelskinfood.com. Discover the range of natural skincare solutions. Indulge in the radiance of natural and organic beauty with the best natural and organic soap bars, whipped soaps, body butters, and oils. All 100% natural products. Lormel Skin Food for a natural, beautiful you. The world's best coffee from our farms to your cup. It's Grand Coffee House. Morning, crowd of people. How you doing? What's up? What's up? Rosolo, Jack Kirk on the stage with me and everyone here with me on TikTok. How y'all doing this morning? What's good? What's good? But Jack, I'm gonna start with you. Oh, Rosolo, go ahead. Since you fly to get you bust the mic.
No. Start with you. Start with you.
Girl.
Girl, I got
Good
one better
morning.
than
Good morning.
I have one with all the flags, baby. Where you get that? That one
Listen,
with all the flags.
listen. Talk about it. Listen, the flag bigger than me. The flag bigger than the space from the inner. I don't know how I'm gonna tackle those menopausal moments.
Okay.
I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Yeah, talk to me nice.
Every time you plant the flag, it's because it's green. It's green screen. The flag,
Yeah,
the flag turning into a
yeah.
green
But,
screen.
let me see if I bring it in. Jesus, I remember growing up, my mom had a bunch of these packs. You know, them come from China, right? But they're the small versions. I
Uh-huh.
have two. I have two right now, as a matter of fact, upstairs. And but of course, damn. Whew, whew.
Well, I didn't know what size they were going to send because when I bought it for myself, they sent me a small one and a big one. They didn't really say, so I didn't know what size you were going to get. I didn't know if you was going to get one or two, but I was tired of seeing you fan the piece of paper. Okay.
Listen, one thing with me, that means I'm a very simple person. Me not make nothing bother me.
I know.
I make
I know.
absolutely nothing bother me. Nothing.
I know, but I love you, and then at the same time, you can represent. Okay.
Always I rep, 'cause you know me done bleed black, green, and gold. What's up, Mad Libra? And how you doing? All right, Rasola, how was the birthday girl's birthday? We know we got to do our check-ins before we get into the
Oh,
seriousness of life. How was the birthday girl yesterday?
oh, thank you. She was
Before
good.
y'all
She
check
was
in,
good.
can I just say happy birthday to my birthday girl, Najiri? Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday, Michelle.
Najiri.
Happy birthday to you. Hold on. Let's stop. No, knock off that again. Happy birthday, Najiri. One more year pandem. One more year around the sun. Oh, the sun go again. Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday, I'm
my
a friend.
friend.
For one more year upon them. Give thanks for life. I think it's like morning, everyone. Good morning. The birthday queen was good. Her son took her to breakfast,
Yeah,
and
she
then her
told me.
daughter,
She told
yes, and her daughter took her to dinner, so she felt it was a full circle.
me.
Um, she they were it was we went to Bonefish,
All
and
right.
it was
Bonefish
her first
Grill.
time. Yes, it was her first time at Bonefish,
All
and
right.
she enjoyed it.
Oh,
Um, and she liked showing up. Remember, my mom was the person who was 43 for about 40 years. We never know our real age. But she showed up yesterday. She said, I'll tell you how old I am when I finish. And she showed up. She had a great time. 91 years around this one. I'm very
Let me
Very,
tell
very
you, that
sensitive.
is no easy feat. No
Yeah.
easy feat at all. All right,
And
so
the restaurant sang her happy birthday, so that made me cry. So that's good.
awesome. Live weekdays starting at 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern on QMZRadio.com for quality music while you work or play. JanoRadio.com for quality music while you work or play. Did I say that? No, JanoRadio.com. Your non-stop party vibe station. I never put no rub in my coffee this morning. Well, I gotta start this over. You know I gotta start this over. Bloopers. All right, here we go. It's Tuesday, April 9, 2025. Thank you for joining me for Coffee in Dough World News on the Go for hours filled with news from around the world. Always great conversation and music. Coffee and Toast streams live weekdays starting at 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern on QMZRadio.com for quality music while you work or play. JanoRadio.com, your non-stop party vibe station, and MadMusicHouse.com for any genre, anytime. And we are live on YouTube starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Don't forget to subscribe. Welcome to the studio audience, courtesy of TikTok. TikTok, don't stop. I also invite you to head on over to our website, www.coffeeintoe.com, and that way you can check up on other stories that we're not able to feature on the live segment. Also, look at the resources we have there and check out our sponsors. And Coffee and Joe is brought to you in part by Lormel Skin Food for a natural, beautiful you. Head on over to LAURMEL, LormelSkinFood.com. Also brought to you in part by Grant Coffee House. Enjoy 20% off all your coffee products when you're checking out at www.grantcoffeehouse.com. Just use the code CoffeeInToe20. All right, and that is it. Time for us to go ahead and get started. Kirk, you good? You're good? You in the streets?
Top of the morning, top of the morning. Good morning. It's one coffee in Joe, never two, never three. Everyone on YouTube, everyone listen to the radio, everyone on TikTok.
Thank
You
you.
know,
You know. You don't know. Thank you, Kirk.
I just want to say, everybody, please, when you're late, though, me I beg you, take no time on the road. Me just pass 4 accidents, and every single one of them is 4 collision, 4 vehicle collision.
Wow.
Please, beg you,
Yeah,
take no time on the
that's
road.
important. You hear, folks? No sense rushing. No sense rushing out there. All right. You're late, you're done late. Just make a call. You'll get there eventually. You know?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you for
No,
that, Kirk. Thank you. Great reminder.
Yeah, I'm blessed up to all the people who want to celebrate their birthday. My apologies.
Yes, yes.
I'm sure I want that evening. See.
All right, folks, as always, we kick it off in the Caribbean corner. First up, Caribbean Tourism Organization announces Caribbean Week in New York for 2025. This article, courtesy of CaribbeanNationalWeekly.com. The Caribbean Tourism Organization CTO is gearing up to bring the rhythms, colors, and conversations of the Caribbean to the heart of Manhattan with Caribbean Week in New York 2025, scheduled for June 1 to June 6 at the Westin, New York at Times Square. Billed as the premier tourism event in North America, CWNY 2025 will spotlight the theme Caribbean Resilience, crafting tomorrow's tourism. Oh, by the way, if you don't ever know, Jamaica has been dubbed the entertainment capital of the world. Yes, I had to squeeze that in. This event will unite key stakeholders, media, and members of the Caribbean diaspora during Caribbean American Heritage Month. The full week's schedule, you can find that at bit.ly/Caribbean Week Program 2025. And I will put the link for this on the website. All right. So New York will be buzzing more than it already is with CWNY 2025. That's June 1 to 6, celebrating the Caribbean. And it's all the Caribbean, folks. And for those of you who don't know about the Caribbean, I'm telling you, Jamaica is not the only country in the Caribbean. Every Caribbean person you meet is not Jamaican, right? Okay, let that sink in. Hey, Prof, let that sink in. All right, because the people, them, especially over there in the Eastern Caribbean, so them tired of everybody thinking that they're Jamaican and being asked where in Jamaica they're from. Please respect the people them. Right, Ja? You come from it's from Antigua. Like the people them know loud and proud said that's where you come from. What's up, Prof? Good morning. Good morning. I'm gonna mute your mic, Prof. Gonna mute your mic. Gonna mute your mic. Okay. Yes, Ja. The people I'm tired. I'm said I'm tired. You know, Martinique. No, we're not Jamaican. We're from Martinique. So respect the people them. So come out, learn about all the Caribbean countries if you're not familiar with them. And there's a chance to have a one-on-one. All right. You know what, let me move this over here so I don't forget to pin that link. All right. Next up, the US has warned tourists to stay vigilant in the Bahamas in updated travel advisory. This article, courtesy of CaribbeanNationalWeekly.com. The US Department of State has updated its travel advisory for the Bahamas, urging Americans to exercise increased caution when visiting the island nation due to heightened concerns over crime, water safety, and strict firearm regulations. The Bahamas remains under a level 2 advisory, which encourages travelers to be vigilant, particularly in areas like Nassau and Freeport on New Providence and Grand Bahama Islands, where most violent crimes, including armed robberies, burglaries, and essays, are reported. What is the travel advisory that everybody has for the US? I just want to know because I'm sure there are travel advisories for us. How we gonna be slapping advisories on Bahamas? I mean, did they talk to the cruise industry? Considering that's where most of the cruise lines are headquartered. US, why are we doing this? You had Rubio go to Jamaica, and of course, remember we were well. Let me not include you all. I was of the opinion, and it's only Jesus can come down from heaven and tell me otherwise. Say he didn't do his due diligence, didn't do any research, or had a report given to him, handed over to him, until he was on that flight from Washington to Kingston for him to get a reality check as it relates to medical personnel plus the state of crime in the country. So they go around just doing these things to Caribbean islands. But it's all right. It's all well and good. The more they put out the advisory, the more the people that might come. Yeah. Bahamas, we cannot although ignore the issues that you do have, and the goal should be to come up with a strategy to mitigate the situation, right? Yeah. I don't know if, when the US State Department issues a travel advisory, it holds any more weight. Them hold on, them respect it anymore, or them just like, yeah, whatever. That would be interesting to know how people view um listen, what date is today? Today is the 9th. While Florida Power and Light I tell me some light bill due on the 11th. Me know some light bill due on the 11th. Me get about 6 back-to-back reminder. Some light bill due on the 11th. Florida Power and Light, back up. Y'all thirsty out there. Alexia, welcome, morning. I thought them busted them fly the gate for your other account. What's up?
Not yet,
Then you
but
okay.
huh?
I thought them fly the gate for the other account. Show me saw a message come through from you. That's what I thought.
Me? So I found when I tried to go on this morning, it come up. Me actually depend on 48-hour ban because of comments that I posted.
What did you post and where did you post these comments? Pray tell so we can learn. Oh, speaking code. Because don't even put it in the chat because we don't want the issues. What comments did you post?
Let me tell you.
Is it a
So
Jamaican?
it is me.
Is it a
There,
Jamaican term? Because I'm noticing that when we use our cultural, codes, we seem to be getting flagged for it because people don't understand our culture or AI doesn't understand our culture. What? Sorry.
so there was a video that I watched of what was going on in the Middle East, and I sort of it was 2 or 3 videos, and okay, so I made some comments under there. Nothing bad, I was just expressing, say, all this shit happened to Uno ancestors years ago. I now come back and I do it to people in a English express it, and
I see what you said. Okay, don't say anything else. Got it. Yeah, girl.
yeah.
Girl.
So my plan
I
is
thought it was just us in the US that were under scrutiny. Okay.
so I'm a plan for do reorganize my algorithm. Like you can't influence your algorithm, right? So when I'm back up, I go reorganize my algorithm to watch dumb shit. I'm sorry.
Dumb crap, dumb things.
Yes.
That's what they want us, dumb.
Yeah.
Morning, Dre. Morning, niece. We don't have no free speech. Absolutely. All right, I could keep it.
Morning, my family. It's great to be here.
Great to have you.
Yes.
My quick one with the people them things. So that was it for the Bahamas. Again, folks, the US has warned tourists to stay vigilant in the Bahamas, and that is the latest release. They have slapped them with a level 2 advisory. All right, next up, let's head on over to Barbados. Orthopedic Footwear Project aims to prevent diabetic amputations. This article can be found on barbadostoday.bb. Save Our Souls Charitable Trust, in association with the Diabetes and Hypertension Association of Barbados, the Diabetes Foundation, and the Rotary Club of Barbados South, has launched the Orthopedic Footwear and Limb Salvage Project, which aims to provide support for people with diabetic foot disease and help prevent amputations. It emphasizes disease prevention and proper foot care. Each year, Barbados sees a rise in amputations due to complications from diabetes and other chronic illnesses. For years, we have been hearing about diabetes and hypertension across the region. The docs don't reach in the house yet. No, them not reach yet. The docs have not. Our resident doctors have not yet arrived in the building. So somebody remind me when whether Dr. Keisha or Dr. Sharon come in to check with them to find out, so we can talk about the root causes in our medic minute. We can talk about the root causes and what we can do to mitigate this because this is an ongoing issue across the region. And I'm sure it is, I'm not sure if it's genetic, but I'm sure our diet has something to do with um, the prevalence of it. You know what? Hold on. While I wait for them to come in, let me see what. All right, so diabetes is a chronic condition where the body either does not produce enough insulin or cannot effectively use the insulin it produces, leading to high blood sugar levels. It comes in several forms. You have type 1, type 2, and gestational diabetes, each with different causes and management strategies. So, let's take a deeper dive. It is where your body cannot regulate your blood sugar, otherwise known as your glucose levels properly. Now, glucose is your body's main source of energy, and insulin is a hormone that helps glucose get into your cells for energy. In diabetes, either the body does not produce enough insulin or the cells do not respond to insulin properly, leading to a buildup of glucose in the blood. So here are some symptoms, right? Or I should talk about the different types first. Let me highlight that. For type 1 is an autoimmune disease where the body's immune system attacks and destroys the insulin producing cells in the pancreas. Type 2, a condition where the body becomes resistant to insulin and the pancreas may not produce enough insulin. And then there is gestational diabetes. This develops during pregnancy and usually disappears after childbirth, but increases the risk of developing type 2 diabetes later in life. All right. Causes type 1, the exact cause is unknown, but genetics and environmental factors are thought to play a role. Type 2, risk factors include genetics, obesity, lack of physical activity, and family history of diabetes. All right, so what complications are there? Diabetes can damage blood vessels, leading to heart disease, stroke, kidney disease, nerve damage, and vision loss. People with diabetes are also at higher risk for foot problems, infections, and certain types of cancer. And when we talk about management, there are lifestyle changes. So here comes the part that I thought, right? Eating a healthy diet, maintaining a healthy weight, and engaging in regular physical activity can help manage blood sugar levels. Medication. Depending on the type of diabetes and individual needs, medication may be necessary to lower blood sugar levels. Monitoring, regular blood sugar testing and monitoring is crucial for managing diabetes effectively. So, prevention, last part. Prevention, we talk about prevention. Hey, Ozzy, losing weight, engaging in regular physical activity, and eating a healthy diet can help prevent type 2 diabetes. So, at the end of the day, we have to be concerned and we have to pay attention to our lifestyle, especially when we think about genetics, right? If it is a genetic disorder, if it is something that we can't escape, we have to see how we can manage, right? And first and foremost, we have to pay attention to our lifestyle. What are we consuming? We're not trying to take away the joy of eating, but we have to exercise common sense, everything in moderation. We have to live a balanced life. We have to incorporate movement in our lives, right? Especially if your job is one that has you sitting, sedentary lifestyle. And as I'm talking about that, um, so creating a studio, and I'm changing things up because I'm very conscious of how stagnant I've become, right? So I'll be having a higher desk where I'll be able to stand. And I do plan on putting one of those flat treadmills there so I can walk while doing the show because movement is important. I don't go outside a lot and walk, which I used to do, but I'm conscious that I'm fully conscious of the lack of exercise. And yes, I have weights and everything, and I walk by the weights every day. There's a boxing thing there, and I walk by that every day, and I look at it and I say, I soon come. I'm still not reach there, but I am determined to make the changes that I need to make so that I can live a healthier or be healthier, live a healthier lifestyle. Small changes, folks. All right. Um, Alexia, you put in the chat something about type 3 diabetes, which is Alzheimer's. That's news. I'm learning that today. Thank you for teaching me. So let's bring that up on Google. Hold on. Let me. Ja, what happened to you? Oh, you must have got a call. So type 3 diabetes is a term used, though not officially recognized by the medical community, to describe the hypothesis that Alzheimer's disease is linked to insulin resistance and insulin like growth factor dysfunction, specifically in the brain. So I learned that today. And of course, folks, remind me once Dr. Keisha or Dr. Sharon come in to let us go revisit this concern. It's a grave concern, in my opinion. All right. And I'm sure we all know someone who has lost limbs because of diabetes. There's someone I went to school with. I went to high school with Dr. Hillary Johnson. She has a program that she goes to Jamaica, I think once a year, to do fittings for prosthetics. And, she has a team of doctors that she takes down with her. She's based in, I think it's Sarasota or somewhere on the west coast of Florida. I don't remember where. But I need to look up her information, touch base with her, and see if we can get her in as well. But yeah, every year she leads a mission with a team of doctors to Jamaica. They do fittings up to about 100 people. They do this for, and every time I see her making mention of the upcoming missions, I have concern. I have serious concerns. And yes, while we are so grateful to have doctors like her and her team doing this, my thing is, how can we nip this in the bud? How can we circumvent this? How can we lower the number of people who have to have amputations or have to be dependent on medication? Huge concern for me, but we'll get to that. All right, so let me move this article over here so we can revisit later on. Next up in the Caribbean Corner, campaign launched to improve maternal and child health care. And this is courtesy of BarbadosToday.com. A national campaign was launched on Monday to bolster maternal and child health care as Barbados observed World Health Day on Monday. And Minister of State in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Davidson Ishmael, called for urgent action to reduce maternal and infant mortality rates, underscoring the importance of accessible, high quality health care for mothers and newborns. Barbados recorded 2 maternal deaths in 2024, and in 2023, the infant mortality rate was 7.6 per 1,000 births. The goal is 0 as much as we can. We know there are some situations that are inevitable, but we do the best that we can. So good job over there, Barbados, recognizing and launching the campaign to improve. All right, next up, let's hop on over to Grenada. According to nowgrenada.com, trigger warning. I hope I won't get flagged for this article. It's science, it's health. Health officials in Grenada are reporting a significant increase in the number of sexually transmitted infections, STIs, that were detected from data provided by private and public sector healthcare providers. The Ministry of Health has detected an increase in the number of reported cases of STIs across the country. Of particular concern is genital discharge syndrome associated with infections like gonorrhea, chlamydia, and tricho. You know that one trick? I'm not going to bite up my mouth, you know. Wait for the doctors. That's according to a news release from the Ministry of Health disseminated by the Government Information Service. They are urging citizens to take the necessary precautions to protect their sexual and reproductive health. The release provided several recommendations, including avoiding risky behaviors such as having multiple partners, using protection and other preventative methods to reduce the transition or the transmission rather of STIs. Folks, at 2025, we're supposed to be a little more my fan coming in handy, ja. We're supposed to be a little more diligent. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're supposed to be a little more diligent, folks. Right? But Grenada only have 3,000 people. Let me stop that before Mr. President coming at the place come blast me. Field Island. Right? We don't want Mr. Hey Jerry, I don't want Mr. President coming and come blast me Field Island. Let me get it right. What's the population of Grenada? I said 3,000. I wasn't far off. 117,000 people.
You don't know your math is not mathing today at all.
When is it ever mathing? Hold on then. Whew, my at. Menopause is a bee, me I tell you, girl. The girl, wait till I catch a girl named Eve. Wait till I catch her. Hey, you like problems? I don't like peace. I like problems. By the way, where's Adesoji? Adesoji, all right this morning? Hope he's good. All right. All right. So, Grenada with them 3,000 people over there. I'm concerned with these numbers because data from a weekly report, an epidemiological report. We have to break it up in our syllables, you know. The Department of Epidemiology submitted their report for week 13, right? And that was from Monday, March 24 to Sunday, March 30. And these are the cases they have. 125 cases of various STIs. In 2024, for the same period, the number was 71. There are 28 cases of gonorrhea, 36 cases of genital discharge syndrome, 33 cases of pelvic inflammatory disease, 7 cases of syphilis, 9 cases of herpes, and 11 cases of chlamydia. And I guarantee you the numbers are higher. Grenada, we don't know 3,000 people. Come on, do better. These are the cases we know of. And I remember we had a conversation, was it last week or the week before last week, where we were talking with both Dr. Shannon and Dr. Keisha, and men somehow are reluctant to go to the doctor. Most of the cases, when we talk about STIs, are detected in women. And then the woman will coerce the men into going. Men, your health is important, especially if you don't like to take on the role of village ram. Especially if you don't have this idea that you don't have to conquer everything that you don't see. It is important that you take care of your body. Get yourselves checked out. In this day and age, you should be wrapping it up. Condoms are available. They're not expensive, are they? Unless they're expensive over there in Grenada. Wrap you up, tape you up, saran wrap, everything. or abstain. You don't have to dip your dilly in everything what you say. You don't have to. Exercise self-control. These numbers are disturbing. Yes, Alexia, I am gravely concerned. Village ram is wild. No, but that's what we call them, the village ram. Duppy conqueror them, man. Everything them have to take on. Because I guess they have I don't know, they have a number that they have to reach. I don't know.
Moments. What was the total population? What was the number?
Of the actual population over there in Grenada is 117,000 plus.
Then they're not this rate, right? At this rate, then everybody that have one ST.
That's what I have thank you for the follow, think, believe, achieve. I like
Because
that.
there was this thing years ago. I think it was a campaign in Jamaica that said, if you have a partner, like they would say, if you have two partners, right? Like me, I have two man, and then the two man they have two
Please
women.
tell me a story. I tell you, don't make them feel there's a two body.
It's an example. What me I do with two man? We greedy, but not so. True.
I don't you.
So they must say if me have two partners and then the two partner they have two partner and it just keep multiplying like that, then you will a Grenada have STI.
Me feel so the numbers higher. I have grave concerns. And then here's the thing too, Alexia. They do a lot of island hopping, right? They do a lot of island hopping. They go from island to island. They visit other islands, you know. And then carnival season is another time when people leg themselves too. Come on, Grenada. Men and women, I'm not going to put the responsibility solely on the men. Men and women. Me not gonna tell a person who to sleep with, how much people to sleep with. That is not my business, right? Like Dexter Dapp said yesterday, I'm not concerned, right? If a 6 man did have already means me a number 7, me not worry about if I can't I'm not here to count on no counts. That is not my place. I'm not here to judge you. What I'm here to do is advise you to be responsible with your behavior. Because some men and some women literally have a weakness. Right? In Jamaica, we used to say them have white liver. They do have a weakness. They have this insatiable appetite and they don't have self-control. Right? They don't know how to discipline themselves. But what I'm going to ask you all to do in the meantime is to protect yourselves and protect the person you are going to be indulging with. That's all. That's all. Adasoji. Why are you laughing at me, Adasoji? Dark chocolate is your weakness. We know, Adasoji. We know. 8 minutes after the top of the hour. Thank you to everyone listening on QMZRadio.com, JadoRadio.com, MadMusicHouse.com. Thank you to my viewers on YouTube Live, and thank you to everyone here with me on TikTok. Grenada with that. I think Mr. President needs to see what he can do to round up some protection and ship over to Grenada. His country needs it. This is concerning. Yeah. All right, next. Go ahead, Jack. Go right ahead.
Did I hear Adasoji call for dark chocolate?
No, he did not. It's too early. I don't want him to get the diabetes.
Yeah, next story, John. Next story. Mute him, John. Next story.
Okay, also courtesy of nowgrenada.com. Thomas Anthony, Chief Executive Officer of the Grenada Citizenship by Investment CBI unit, rebranded as the Investment Migration Agency, IMA, said there is an uptick of people from the United States of America applying to become citizens of Grenada through the Citizenship by Investment program. The people that want left the country. How much we got it? That's all I want to know. What's the cost to get our citizenship there? No, it's okay. I don't want Grenada. I'm too many STIs. I need some numbers for the island with the least amount of STIs. I'm sorry.
Excuse me, why are you worrying about that?
I was just going to ask the same thing. What is the concern of STIs for you? If you're traveling in a pack. So what do you care? We're just trying to understand, John and I.
Oh, Jesus, have mercy.
Are you just trying to find out for John and I?
That part.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate you. Then continue. Thanks. Appreciate you.
Morning,
And Alexia, thank you. We appreciate you. All three of us appreciate you. Continue.
I have to look out for my friends.
We appreciate it.
I have to look out for my family and my friends. I have to make sure that we're good.
Just want everybody to understand that you're looking out for your friends. You weren't thinking of yourself.
I'm not thinking of
Just wanted to make sure. What is today? Wednesday? Oh boy.
You know what? I should have put some rum in my coffee this morning.
That may be the problem.
No, wait till Friday. Wait till Friday.
And I'm fasting from rum this week. It's been quite a challenge. Maybe that's why you're sweating. Go put some rum in your coffee.
I'm soon going to refill my coffee cup. So the people them said them want left the US of A. So yeah. Mr. Anthony in a statement said, we have seen an uptick in applications from the USA. We have a situation where our biggest marketing agents have tripled their footprints in the USA because they have seen that uptick. Wow. We target the market in collaboration with these marketing agents so that they can attend events in the US, not just industry events, but also events organized by the marketing agents to talk directly to their potential applicants. Wow. Donating, I just want to know what the cost is to get your citizenship over there. I'm scrolling through. Somebody do the research so we can let the people know, because I get it. I get it. I totally get it. Hey, Julie. Next up. SSL establishes compensation fund for fraud victims. It sure took a long time. But it came nonetheless. I have a soundbite for this. I'm trying to find my soundbite. Give me a minute there. Hold on there. Hold tight. All right, got it. According to Nationwide Radio JM.com, Embattled Brokerage House, Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL, says a fund has been established to compensate victims of the alleged multi-million-dollar fraud which was uncovered in January 2023. This was revealed in a letter dated April 3, 2025, directed to potential and contingent SSL claimants and creditors. Here is more in this report from Mahiri Stewart.
SSL has been shrouded in controversy after an investigation launched in January 2023 revealed one of the biggest investment frauds in Jamaica's history. The multi-million-dollar fraud saw many who invested lose millions, including sprint legend Usain Bolt. Through its court-appointed trustee, SSL has announced that a fund labeled the SSL Victims Compensation Fund has been established. It says this is to facilitate payouts to victims of the alleged fraud. SSL adds that it is seeking to make a partial distribution to the affected clients in May. It is inviting all affected clients to submit their proof of claim by April 30. SSL says the submission should include any supporting documentation or other forms of evidence to substantiate actual losses suffered due to the alleged fraudulent activities. Former wealth advisor at SSL, Jean-Ann Panton, is the sole accused in the multi-million-dollar fraud investigation to date. She's facing over 20 charges, to include forgery, larceny as a servant, and engaging in a transaction involving criminal property. Panton is accused of defrauding over 40 people who had investments at the firm. Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
So may I ask a question? SSL, come to the front. Come to the front of the room. I beg you do. I invest my money in SSL. And it's not Gina and Panton. And not, only Jesus can come down from off and throne and tell me that Gina and Panton did this solely. You know the truth, right? Allegedly. So, oh no, say me get robbed up. Oh no, say the money missing out of my account. But the back said, no need me to submit proof. Why do I have to submit a claim? Handle your business, SSL. Why should I have to work to get my money back? Me never help on a thief my money. If you have proper records in place and you have an accounting system in place, find my money, tabulate, and send my money to me. Don't give me any work to do. I must submit a claim by April 30, proving that I have lost money. You were able to give us a list of the names of persons, which I had grave concerns about, because I didn't think that information should have been public. But you were able to furnish the names of everyone who was affected. You were even able to furnish the amounts. So on the backside, you want me to get up and help, but I don't know what for. I'm just saying, unless I'm ignorant to something. You know, say me invest $90 million, we don't know. Why do I have to? Because you have it. You showed the world that I invested $90 million with you. Go ahead. You can be must lick my head. Go on, through, Jack.
Moments, from the accounting perspective, it's just a double check for me. Because even when I had, for example, someone used my bank account to put some fraudulent checks in it, I had to prove to them what my last balance was. And then because it's fraud, supposedly they may not even have the paperwork, right? Because I think one of the stories said that they didn't even have paperwork. So for me, it's just a double check. It's a double audit, even though it should have been audited from day one, but that's another story. I yield.
2 years later? 2 years later, Jack?
Moments. I don't know if it was last week or so. I told you that there was news that they were saying that, for how you put it now, like the person who hold the account gave monies to, as it were, Ginan, to, like, money in hand to put into their account there to do the investment, but the monies never got to the account. That's what it had said in the news sometime last week. So as it were, it would have been like, oh, we don't have no records of this $90 million. So you have to give, I think what they're saying now is, you have to give a proof, say, the 90 million was actually handed to her. You get what I say? Like they're saying it never hit their account at SSL. Yeah.
So if the money never made it to SSL can't pay back what they never get. I'm talking about the money what they did actually have. No, really and truly. If SSL did not get the money, if there is no proof of SSL being in receipt, meaning, and I want to believe that the money was transferred to the bank in one of two ways. And I'm thinking back to my days of banking, right? Because of the sum, and because it's going from a commercial bank, more than likely being moved from a commercial bank to a boutique financial institution. Yes, and I call them boutique financial institutions. So the money can only be moved either through a wire transfer or a bank check, a cashier's check, right? So let us say it was moved via wire transfer. There is a code, there is a number, there's a transaction number that is assessed, that's applied that is generated, anything no one call it, that is generated unique to that transaction. And that allows you to be able to trace the money, where it have come from and where it go. If the money was withdrawn and put in an instrument, a check, right? When you go to a financial institution and you want a withdrawal from your account and you want a check done up, there are certain procedures that have to be followed. Plain and simple. Also, the transaction has to be approved. Now, in the banking system, back in Jamaica, back in my time, you have A signer and you have B signer. And depending on the amount of the transaction, you may need just an A signer, but now we're talking about millions of dollars. It has to go through a B signer. A B signer is usually the department supervisor or the assistant branch manager or the branch manager. The check, you have a record of the check. The check has to be made out to somebody. Has to be. Who was the check made out to? And let us say the check was made out to somebody. Let us say it was made out to SSL. It has to go into an account in the name of SSL.
Oh, miss, I'm sorry. That news story makes no sense. It's nonsense. It's just a red herring. It made absolutely no sense in the financial world. First of all, you're not giving anybody $90 million cash to start with. Secondly, if it's a transfer, it must be traced.
Thank you.
If it's a bank draft, the providing bank must know who cashed it. None of the explanation they give it makes any sense. Unless it's some backdoor deal, like some drug dealer, you hand a briefcase for cash to somebody. It don't make no sense. That news make no sense. That's just a red herring.
But Mr. President, we don't solve the case already, you know. We have already solved the case for SSL. I don't know what they're going on with. All this go round, come round, and making a one bag of news every minute. We have already solved the case, SSL. It really isn't that hard. And you don't even have to have a financial background. You don't have to have banking experience. It's common sense.
90 millions cannot disappear from one bank account to nowhere. You understand? Even cash, there is certain stipulation that has to be met for the bank to give you 90 million cash. So what nonsense you're telling me?
As I said, Mr. President, I already solved this case for them. And them and me know, say, and SSL needs to be forthcoming. Them and me know, and me I stand 10 toes down on it. Jean Ann Panton is not the only one involved in this. She is made to be the face of all of what is going on.
She was chosen to take the fall, but the logic don't add up because she cannot take that fall.
She
So
cannot.
that kind of money, no oversight, no supervision, no. Come on, this is madness.
Let me tell you
It's some.
Mr. President, for her to do this single-handedly, she would have had to have a software system set up on her at her house, right? Or on her private computer, laptop, whatever, where she keeps an accounting and she has the programming in place to calculate the daily interest, to be able to send fake statements to the clients in keeping, matching with what SSL would be doing. They're telling us something now. We know. Jean, Sister Jean.
I'm not even going so deep. What they're saying happened, no internal control at any financial institution could pass that smell test. And in most cases, only two people colluding even make it difficult for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to have the seniority to get the necessary clearance. So this whole story is just a
BS.
guinea hen make ram go story thing.
Exactly. It's full of BS and it reeks. And anybody who is level headed and well thinking can see through the cracks. There's so, SSL get it together and stop get 6 for 9. Tom drunk, but Tom no fool. Oh, by the way, Mr. President, you missed a story about your island. We have grave concerns about your Caribbean island. Your island only has but 3,000 people in population, but we have a serious STI issue going on down there. The numbers are concerning, so I'm going to ask you if you could see to it that you send down a shipment of plastic protection.
Oh, it's too much fun and frolic. I wonder what happened here. Somebody dropped the bag.
We have serious concerns about your island, and I think everybody down there related.
For real? I don't know, boy. That's strange. That's strange.
Yeah, because the story is that you guys are seeing an increase in STIs and very concerning. And these are the cases that were reported, right? There were 28 cases of gonorrhea, 36 cases of genital discharge syndrome, 33 cases of pelvic inflammatory disease, 7 cases of syphilis, 9 cases of herpes, and 11 cases of chlamydia. Una not believe in protection down there.
Moments, but you had a number of cases that are making the news, though, moments, seriously. 9 cases and 28 cases, and I mean, we're small, but we have 100,000 people. But it's still a cause for concern. That is to tell you how safe we used to be when those numbers make the news, right? But we'll look into it. I'll talk to the Minister of Health.
Geely put in the chat. Geely said it's because they get to where they're going. There are only 3 traffic lights. You're really going to sit there and take that from Geely, Mr. President?
I see somebody want me to lose my job, but don't worry.
Geely from St. Lucia with our 1 traffic light. Tell her that, Mr. President. Oh gosh. Yeah, but see what we can do in terms of getting protection down to the island, because I'm concerned. I really am concerned. I'm concerned for my single friends, because when we take our group trip and we go island hopping, I need to know that my friends will be safe down there, just in case them trip and fall over upon something. Next thing, them turn the other way and something. Next up, real-time tracking to feature in rural bus service. This article, courtesy of Nationwide Radio, jm.com. Advanced tracking technology will be built into the fleet of rural school buses to allow parents to be updated on the location of their children in real time. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness made the statement at Jamaica House on Monday following a tour of one of the newly retrofitted buses. The pilot phase of the rural school bus service is set to begin in September with 60, yes, you heard correctly, 60 retrofitted units. Another 40 buses are to be added to the fleet in January of next year. Here is Dana Davey with more in this report. I'm not Aaron. Hold on.
Bus service. According to the preliminary details for the rural school bus service, students on the program of advancement through health and education path will be transported free of cost. Similar to what currently obtains across the regular state-run bus service, other students will pay between $20 and $50 depending on the length of the route. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz told Nationwide News recently that schools will take custody of buses to be used in the mornings and afternoons. Prime Minister Holness says the service will be transformational.
It will also improve our students' performance at school.
Access to
not
school.
having the distractions, not having the discomfort and the inconvenience, the late arrivals, the exposure to all kinds of deviant behavior and fights. I think that this is going to be transformational. So we are starting, Minister, you have assured in a few weeks' time.
Yes.
He says the same rules that apply on school campuses will be extended to the buses.
The school rules for the physical plant of the school will apply to the bus. So a student on this bus is still under the jurisdiction of the school as it relates to conduct and discipline. And that is a very important point. So the transformation that will happen as a result of this, clearly households in Jamaica will get an economic benefit because right now there is an inequity. If you live in spaces served by the JUTC, you get a fully, in some instances, subsidized fare. But if you live in rural areas, no subsidy applies. So there is an inequity. This will help to reduce that inequity, if not remove it totally. But it will also bring a level of decency and standardization to our students.
Prime Minister Holness says the buses will be outfitted with tracking devices and cameras and will benefit from periodic monitoring from a school official.
These buses must have a camera on them. So even if the camera is not transmitting directly, some of them will, but at least whatever happens within the bus will be recorded for future reference.
And cashless.
And the buses will be cashless, so the students will not be required to pay. From time to time, there may be a supervisor from the school on the bus just to make sure that the operations are inspected and there is someone to ensure that there is order and discipline maintained on the bus. The buses will be tracked, and that is how we will be able to give an update on the app. So the parent will be able to know where the bus is, how fast it is moving, the distance away from school, these kinds of things. So they will know where their child is.
Dana Davy for Nationwide News.
Well, we just have Dr. Holness. Yeah. I have but one concern. You don't know me already. No, don't know say me I go say something. Me can't help but find fault, right? And it's not that I am knocking the initiative. No, I am very happy for it. I'm grateful for it. Yes, Mr. President, Grenada. And I think there's another Caribbean island that has a similar initiative, and we welcome it. I think it is necessary. It is long overdue. My only concern with this whole thing is the part that says similar to what currently obtains across the regular state-run bus service, other students will pay between $20 to $50, depending on the length of the route. I don't think any child should have to pay. I think over there in the Eastern Caribbean, it's free of cost for the students over there, and those islands are smaller than Jamaica. And they are, I get it, because they're smaller. Of course, you have less buses because, of course, less students. I get that, totally. But I also think that Jamaica can do better. I don't think we should be charging the children. I think it can be fully subsidized, regardless of where they live, rural, or not. That's my humble opinion, my recommendation, Mr. Dr. Holness and Minister Baz, if you don't mind. Could we consider that? Talk to run the numbers. I think it's doable. Talk to Anti-Faval. What's the name of the new Minister Education? What's her name again? I don't remember now. Dana. But I think we can do it for free. I think we can do it for free. We have money for so many other things. We have money for the children. Let us remove all encumbrances as much as we can. Anything, because we might say what is $20 and what is $50. You better believe that some parents find it hard to find $20 and $50. Is that one way? Is that round trip? I don't know. But yes, there are some parents who are surviving with little. And that $20 to $50 a day, if that is what it is, adds up and can put a dent in their financial circumstances. So again, Dr. Holness, love it. I really love it. I saw one of the buses. They look good. They look good, the yellow bus, just like here in the States. So Jamaica, slowly but surely, stop it, moment, stop it. But yeah, um, it's a good look. I'd have preferred a different color so we don't look like we are match foreign, the US. But you go
Well, it's the 54th state where you get and so forth. But anyhow, I think it's good. What they should do though, sometimes it may not be feasible. I don't know based on the budget or so, because government do have a lot to deal with, and we may like them to do a lot more. But if you cannot provide it free for everyone, I hope they would have a scheme to identify the most vulnerable students and ensure it's free for them. Because we can't have kids staying home because their mom can't even afford that minimum charge. And what we want to see also is that you make at least breakfast free. So at least every child has a free meal a day so they can study. That's my submission.
Appreciate it. Go ahead, Adam Jim. Good afternoon, by the way.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah, so great speech by the governor of the 54th state, Honorable Honest, Dr. Honest, yes. Okay. Yeah, I'll just reiterate what Mr. President said there, is that you have to identify that certain people would not feed into the financing of said scheme. So for kids, give, like here, transportation for them is free, 0 to 16 of forms of, and for the over 60s, they get the freedom pass so they can travel all around. So anybody in between, you have to pay your way. So basically, it's society sort of saying, listen, you enjoy it for now, you contribute, whoever is coming behind you, you're contributing for those coming behind you and also for yourself going forward. So that way, yeah, I yield.
The school buses here in the US are free. Thank God. All through elementary school, all through
including public transport.
All through
or just the school, just the school
I'm
bus?
I'm not sure about the public transport, but I know for the school buses, elementary, middle, and high school, it's free. Every now and again, our wonderful governor here in Florida, Ron DeSantis, he makes it free. The public bus, he will make it free every now and again. And I'm trying to look a thing for way, make we feel good about ourselves for those people who do have to take public transportation. We also have a system for the elderly where it is free. Well, in Miami, the part of Miami which part me, then we can't talk for all of Miami. But yeah, so there are benefits to be had. I understand what you and Mr. President have said. It can be free.
It can be free, especially if the federal government in Washington pays into what the state uses in Kingston.
We have money for everything else. In Jamaica, we can find the money for this. Okay, so for example, we spoke about the article yesterday. We highlighted the article yesterday with regard to them wanting to build how many new schools that are STEAM schools, science, technology.
6 or 7. 6 or 7 STEM.
Right. So not STEM, STEAM, because they added in arts, right? So science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And we were saying, let's take a more cost-effective approach. Instead of building the schools from scratch, let us do an assessment of the existing schools and let us see what wings or what classrooms can be retrofitted. Whatever needs to be done to upgrade them to facilitate the STEAM curriculum. I'd be more for that, because that way you would have a savings. And now that savings, we could pump that into feeding the children. We could also pump that into the free transportation for children. Just a thought. Just a thought.
No, that's a brilliant idea. I don't understand the reason we like to what's the word? Start something afresh every time there is a flashboard moment. Why don't you work with what you already have and just continue, build on top of what you already have. You have schools in place. You look at the schools, are they fit for what we intend to do? If they're not fit, retrofit them. Your teachers, are they, capable of carrying out the ideas that you have? If not, train them. Rather than wait to train the teachers, that's at least 10 to 15 years building a school. You don't know when the contractor would find the time in their busy schedule while they're, frolicking to build said place. And then at the end of the day, it has to be that way. Just build as you go,
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Adesoji. Go ahead, Mr. President. I know you opened your mic.
But Adesoji, also you have to remind logistics. Where are you placing those schools, those 6 schools, and are they readily available? If you already have a transportation problem to existing school, how are you going to facilitate these students to get to those 6 schools? If you put it in the schools that already exist, and even if it's a couple schools in every district, it costs less money, and it's readily available, and you don't have to worry about any other logistics or any other problem that will pop up, especially the time frame to complete the project. So there might be some schools where it could be up and running in 2-3 months. So we have to look at these things. Sometimes we always think you have to be new because it sounds nice and pretty. But yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes you also have government buildings that are lying unused. Retrofit those government buildings, put schools in there. That's it. I yield.
Yeah, I think, I'm going to say this and then we can move on. Jamaica has a culture or a history of lining the pockets of their friends. And it doesn't matter what parties in power, be it PNP or be it JLPO. We have a history of looking out for our friends. Hey, Pops, hey, Deacon in the building. Let me say yesterday now, you did not come in and bless the space yesterday. What happened to you yesterday? And I said, if I didn't see you today, I was going to send you a message. We have to make sure, because you're recently ordained, we have to make sure you're good enough. You all right, Pascal?
Yeah, man. Good morning, people. I'm okay. Yesterday was a bit hectic for me.
Okay.
Because I was on a night shift, so I came home. Mm-hmm.
Is that night shift or night shift?
He's a deacon. He's a man of the cloth. Be respectable. You see my laugh? You got your answer, Adesoji? All right. No, stop it. Happy to have your Popsicle. But yeah, so here's the thing. I believe, I appreciate it again, Dr. Woolness. Just take the recommendations we have here and see how you can gather your troops and revisit and shift things around and make it as cost effective as possible. I was saying, Adesoji, we have a culture in Jamaica where we hook up our friends. It happens a lot, especially around election time, right? Where the potholes need to be filled or need to be fixed. We don't fix them. We just throw a little dirt in it and spray the dirt. Not dirt, sorry, folks. Marl. We throw a little marl in it and we spray it, right? With a little tar to make it stick. And then rain fall next week and buff that wash out. Or one heavy truck run up in that and you know how it go. We know. Word to the wise. In some parts of Jamaica, if you are driving straight, you're drunk. That's it. If you're driving straight, you're drunk. If you're not drunk, you'll be swerving. You have to dilly-dally through the road. That's the thing, especially in the country parts. But you know what? Not only the country parts, because the last time I was in Jamaica, I was deeply concerned for the which was last year. I was deeply concerned for the potholes I saw in Kingston. And I asked my friend, I said, hold on there. The politician them in Jamaica drive on them road there, and I know them drive on the road them because some of the road them go through uptown. Yeah. So I need to know what the plan to do about the roads, right? Craters is right. Craters, absolutely right. So anyway, yeah, they have a history of giving them friends a contract, and the friends just do a little bit, do the least, so that they can retain the most. And I think you know exactly what I mean. We need to break away from that type of culture. We need a different system where we can hold our officials accountable. There needs to be
The word you're looking for is functional corruption.
Yeah, we have the Integrity Commission, but of course, even that doesn't work.
Thank you,
Because
Pastor. No, tell them.
yeah.
I'm saying thank you for bringing that up. Tell them.
Right. The other day, it was a case of a man having 21 bank accounts. No, 28 bank accounts. And the Integrity Commission, discovered that and was trying to hold him accountable for corruption. And of course, he's suing and he's trying to say that they have too much power to be investigating and doing all kind of things. Yeah, the same commission that was was put in place for a reason. Yeah, so we're moving like a dictatorship.
Popsicle, you know what my concern is with the one of the, not the only one, but one of my concerns with the Integrity Commission. We had a report a couple of weeks ago, and Una can correct me if I'm missing some pieces of the puzzle. But we had an article come up a couple of weeks ago with regard to the Integrity Commission and its adjusting of the increments at which declarations have to be made if you are a public official. That change came about with our darling Prime Minister being under scrutiny, being scrutinized, right? And people having concerns, as well as with the whole issue of Marissa Dalrymple Philibert, right? And I said, how interesting it is that Una going drag Marissa Dalrymple Philibert through the mud and then quietly behind the scenes move the gauge, move the needle to accommodate somebody else. All right. Okay. I love my country, proudly love my country, but there's a lot of things that we need to tighten up on. You can't do as you please. The Integrity Commission needs an Integrity Commission to oversee the Integrity Commission.
That'll be too much integrity in one sentence.
They better know what they do when they do what they do. Because what it says to me is that the Integrity Commission lacks integrity. It is easily influenced, and the Integrity Commission needs to be a standalone body, not PNP affiliated, not JLP affiliated. There should be no political influence whatsoever. It ought to be a body that don't care what your title is, what your position is, how much money you have or lack thereof.
Moments, aren't you being unfair on the Integrity Commission? The Integrity Commission do not make the laws. They apply them. And they were investigating as per the law. If the government sidestep them and update the law, I wonder whether or not the Integrity Commission has the ability to even do anything about that. So it's not them. They were doing their job. They just happen to be investigating the wrong person.
And of course, they can only recommend, prosecution, right? Which would have to go over to the DPP. And so it's not like they have any real power to arrest or do anything.
I mean, I don't know how we're going to jump through the hoop with regards to the Right Honorable with his time before the Integrity Commission, because for some reason the numbers are not adding up, and for some reason the Prime Minister just has more money than he can count.
Yeah, and he wasn't born rich. You know,
I
he's
want to go
from
into politics. For me, want to make some money.
Remember me, dear moments, remember me. Give me a position when you reach up there, remember me.
you know, humble beginnings, you know, and of course you'll become one of the richest person in the land.
I want to become a politician when I go back to Jamaica. Yeah, yeah, because either that
Government.
or I set up a tent and knock a tambourine. Go ahead, Mr. President.
Talking about integrity combination. Don't we have a Speaker of a House who is the wife of the current Prime Minister? And where does that fall when it comes to integrity? And I'm saying the Speaker did get her job unanimously voted into the position. So I can't question that process, but the optics doesn't look too good if we're talking about integrity. I'm just saying. As to the Prime Minister being rich, there is nothing wrong if you legitimately acquire your wealth, whether you started, poor or not. Like any other citizen, he has the right to legitimately acquire as much wealth as he possibly can, legitimately. But if there is questionable, acquisition, then that ought to be brought to the forefront. But we should not berate him for being successful if he happened to be a successful business person also. I'm just saying.
You know, there are times when I look at certain leaders like the Tory. I don't want to butcher his name, from Burkina Faso.
Ibrahim Traore.
Yes, that man is a leader, right? You don't. Okay, let me not use that word. Let me say this. You don't raise your pay 200%, right? While the country suffers. Because you're not concerned about the people, but your income and your business and your 28 different bank accounts that cannot be accounted for up to this day.
Somebody tap Spice for me now so she can do a song with the number 28, like how she dropped 11 real quick for Bambi. Yeah. You know, let it go. 28.
You know, if the country was thriving and of course people are being successful and we had real growth, we could understand if you raise your pay by 50%, 80%, but 200%, why the dollar slides every day.
Talk about things then. You know what concerned me? One of the things that concerned me when they had that announcement, because we had in-depth conversations for days about the whole issue. One of the concerns for me, Popsicle, was what you mentioned. Another was that yes, whilst I understand that they had not had an increase for a number of years, it was the comment that was made upon the delivery of the increase. And that comment, and don't quote me, but it was along the lines of no on a wig work. So I have to incentivize you for not having worked for all these years, but now that I'm injecting some money into you, you're going to get up and work. That was concerning to me. And I did not know that we reward non-productivity, because in the corporate world, as I know it, you have to meet certain metrics to qualify for a pay increase. And of course, there is a scale where that is concerned, right? Depending on how you're rated, you get a 1% up to 5% increase. And there's a ceiling. Rarely does it go. You have to be Jesus himself to get about 5% increase for the most part. And to even get a 5% increase in the corporate world, you have to have a perfect appraisal of your past year's performance. So there should have been ceilings in place. There should be accountability measures in place. I'm sorry, and I guess it's the corporate hat that I wear that is making me look at things from this perspective. I think there is too much lax behavior when it comes to the government coffers, right? Anytime you talk about taxpayers' money, it's a do as you want and it's a free for all. And I'm not appreciative of that because people have to work really hard. I have to be careful with my words. People have to work really hard to pay the percentages that they pay. For PAYE, pay as you earn, or even in GCT. Money no grow up on tree. And for people to just do as they please, and all because there is no accountability system in place. And then to come out and say, I mean, come on, that's a slap in the face of taxpayers. To openly admit that our members of parliament have not been performing up to standard, up to par, but we're going to give them a 200% increase. And know that we give them the 200% increase, they're going to work. If you are going into politics and it is only to stuff your pockets or just to take up an office for taking up an office sake because it gains you public respect, that is not the reason you ought to be in politics. Your position is one of which you serve the people. Remember that. And every politician around the world needs to remember that, and they need to be reminded of that. But we, the voters, need to be blamed as well because we uphold the slackness. We kin up with teeth and laugh up with them when them come around. We don't ask the hard questions. It's like we're frightened for them. We pay them enough. It's taxpayers' money that pay them. It's taxpayers' money that look after them. So why shouldn't we be asking them the hard questions? Why aren't we holding them accountable? When they show up in their member of parliament offices across the island, whenever, go there. When it's campaigning time, like them say elections are supposed to be coming up this year, when they come out to campaign to you and you're gathering your masses, what questions are you asking them? I don't want to see no DJ perform. I don't want to hear no sound system pull up and go along with themselves. Let us hear the questions that are concerning. Let us talk about the burning issues. And somebody ought to take a note with regard to how they respond, how they answer the questions, so that if and when you do go to the polling stations and you cast your vote and the votes are favorable for them, and them now do what I'm supposed to do, you take them to task. Wait, what's the word for it? What's the word for it? There's a word for it. Lord of mercy, it slipped me. But there's a word for it when them only come around and we kin with teeth with them and we take the little box food and buckle drinks and all these things and the case of Guinness or what have you. And take the t-shirt or them throw it on, put on the t-shirt, and wear the red t-shirt, and wear the green t-shirt, and ring the bell, or say shower, power, whatever.
Campaign.
Hey, that word, how could that word slip me pops up? We as citizens of a country, any country you are in the world, you need to do a better job. That's all I'm gonna say, and I'll leave it right there.
You know, there are a lot of studies that show, though I can't name any right now, but studies show that the curry goat and the rum in the Caribbean, it does wonders, So they have done, I think somewhere in Africa. I'm not sure if it's Ghana. I don't quote me on that. Yeah. But they have said that this strategy work for campaigns. So the rum with the curry goat, let people forget about all the problems and the struggle, and everything else. Just give them a fun time. Yeah. And that will be good enough. Yeah. So at the meeting, the conference, rum, curry goat and white rice.
I that. But the people like me not going to make it in politics because there's certain things I'm not going to condone. There's certain things I may not entertain. So people like me will be pushed out because them not going to hear my mouth. I'm not going in there to speak is spooky. I'm not going in there with my intellect. I'm going there as a layman. And I'm not going to like it. All right, moving right along.
A plate of curry goat, please.
Coming right up. All right, next up, our one more article. Health Ministry warns about the potential spread of disease from poultry found in container. Jeez,
From the curry goat to the curry chicken.
all fried chicken. Listen, according to Nationwide Radio JM.com, Director of Environmental Health at the Ministry of Health, Michael Williams, says with few exceptions, Jamaica does not import poultry meats. This, he says, is due to the risk of introducing diseases to the local population. He was reacting to videos circulating online showing members of the public removing boxes of whole raw chicken from a shipping container that washed ashore in Hellshire, St. Catherine.
Brazil is one of the countries that we do not import poultry meat from. We have producers here in Jamaica, and of course we do import chicken necks and back from the United States, but we do not import chicken meat from Brazil. I could not give the full story at the moment, but we have to remember that there are countries that certain diseases are indigenous, and the risk of spreading diseases among the local population, the flock, we do not import from some countries. And we all know that avian influenza, bird flu, is currently circulating around the world.
The chicken was labeled under the Brazilian brand Perdix. The Ministries of Health and Agriculture, as well as opposition spokesperson on health, Dr. Alfred Dawes, have warned against consuming chicken taken from the container. Mr. Williams says diseases can be contracted from consuming chicken that's not properly refrigerated.
Poultry meat has to be kept under certain conditions. It has to be frozen, minus 18 degrees C or lower. And we have to remember that once we have thawing of frozen products, then pathogens will begin to multiply. Now, this container was at sea for at least 2 to 4 days from checks that we have made. So definitely thawing process had restarted. And so the risk is there of persons who handle the meat that contamination could have occurred, and serious enteric illnesses, gastroenteritis, campylobacter, salmonellosis could have occurred as a result of the meat thawing and people handling the meat.
Meanwhile, Mr. Williams says health inspectors have ramped up inspections to prevent the Perdix chicken from entering the local market.
The public health inspectors have been on the road since last Friday. The teams from the St. Catherine Health Department, also teams from KSA, Kingston St. Andrew Health Department, have been going from premises to premises where we have these food shops, these restaurants, these jerking facilities, and that's exactly what they have been doing. Once there is an extraordinary threat, our officers take to the road and they do their monitoring and compliance inspection. And that is to reassure the public that we are doing everything within our powers to prevent suspect or contaminated food from entering the food chain.
That was Michael Williams, Director of Environmental Health at the Ministry of Health. He was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday. Jesus, my Jamaican
I have
people.
so many questions. I am confused. And I need little education this morning.
All right, confused. Just talk to it. What are you confused about? Be confused no more. Talk to us.
Oh, the container got there. How does that
Okay, so typically when a container is loaded on a ship, it is especially a refrigerated container. It is you turn off or it's disconnected from the thing, the fridge thing what they're attached. I forget the right name for it now. Lord forgive me, but it is plugged into the ship's system to keep it the refrigeration going. Now, apparently, I don't know if the ship come across some waves and thing and it get tossed left to right, so on and so forth. But the container fell off the ship. With the container falling off the ship, there is no more refrigeration taking place. It is disconnected from a refrigeration system. And once that happens, the temperature, of course, there's no temperature, it's going to go, right? And now, because the temperature of the chicken has dropped, it now opens up the opportunity, as he mentioned, for pathogens to start to form in the chicken. But go ahead, carry on.
No, the question I ask is how does a container like a loaded container float to a shore? Like how? Because I was on a program on TikTok a couple nights ago when they were discussing this, and somebody who was worked in stacking containers on a ship says refrigerated containers are not stacked on the top; they are stacked at the base of the ship.
That's what you want to assume.
They're stacked at the base of the ship, and then the containers fit into each other like a puzzle piece and strapped in.
Yeah.
So I'm saying if one container just now go drop, so I have it several. If something go on.
All right.
So
go ahead, Popsicle. Go ahead, and then I'll go.
So I work in the refinery, right? But if I can tell you something, is that people don't always follow protocol.
Thank you. That part. And the reason they don't always follow protocol also, Popsicle, is depending on logistics, right? So the manifest for the ship, you have certain steps, you have certain stops. From my understanding, that shipment from Brazil was destined for the Cayman Islands. Not sure how true that is. Why would I put a container destined for the Cayman Islands, which may be my first stop at the bottom? When I dock at a port, I have a certain amount of time in which to offload and exit, because every docking at a port comes with an assessment. There is a fee to dock, right? So as a shipper, I'm saying, you know something? First stop is Cayman Islands. Me now put this at the bottom like me supposed to, We could fling this pan top. So we have a quick offload so we can keep it moving. Shortcuts happen. And maybe this having happened rather was necessary for eyes to be opened, right? Because whenever there's something unfortunate or whenever there's a setback, there is a lesson to be learned, right? Carry on. Don't ask me. Alexia.
All right. Part B now. How does a loaded container float?
The same way a ship floats.
No, and I see in Ballester did this. So, no, you're not playing with me. You're not playing with me.
So what are you trying to insinuate based on that?
I'm not insinuating nothing. My little brain. How much percentile brain I say we use? 5, 10?
Not enough. Not enough.
The little part of my brain, me just love my brain love ask me question, right? And me ask about my brain question. So me say brain, how the container float come at Elsha. Right?
Yeah,
so I'm gonna explain. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Adesso.
So yeah, the container is usually airtight, and if it's airtight, the buoyancy of the sea with the high salt content will float anything. That's why ships do float. So yeah, you'll be surprised what will float out to sea to you, even cars.
Yeah. So a shipping container can float because when placed in water, it displaces an amount of water equal to its own volume. It's all physics, right? Creating an upward buoyant force that, if greater than the container's weight, will keep it afloat. It's physics.
And the last question now, and then me yield, is this. Did these people see the container floating coming? Or them just wake up and see it on the shore, just park? So I'm just ask question, you know. I mean, I want to be suspicious.
Yeah, I believe they saw the container, and upon seeing the container, somebody decided to open it. It's not a case where they actually knew what was inside of it. But my real question is to the Ministry of Health. Now we know that repackaging is a thing. He said that he's going to send out health inspectors. So my question is, how are you going to identify the different chickens? Which one is local? And which one is the Perdix chicken? Because
I'm sorry, I'm celebrating. I'm so sorry.
because you know that local people actually grow chicken, and the bugs can be repackaged. So how do you know?
That's a very interesting question. They need to be able to answer that. No, the other question to add to your question, Popsicle, my question is, do we have Coast Guard in Jamaica? And the answer is yes. Do you want them as a Coast Guard never see this container floating to alert the necessary authorities? Or to we don't have a tugboat that they could have attached to it to drag it to shore. That way they could have disposed of its contents before it just wash up on the seaside.
I think that's unfair for the Coast Guard. We don't have that much Coast Guards in the Caribbean, and they have a large water space to traverse. So it's easy, something that can be easily missed. Yes, in the perfect world, it will be intercepted. But given the resources we have, I doubt, because I don't think any Caribbean island spend a massive amount of money in their Coast Guard. One being, we don't face any external military threat, to tell you the truth. So it's mostly for people that is smuggled into the island. They know the smuggling routes. They would more than likely spend more time in those areas of the island that you could smuggle people in, or people could come in. The rest, sometimes, let's say the windward island, part of the island is usually too rocky, too steep, seas too rough. So you don't even need to be there, because if you try to come in there, you won't make it in any case. So cut them some slack.
You know, I cut them no slack. You know why? In this particular case, I'm not cutting them any slack. No, I'm logistically speaking, proximity. The beaches where it washed up ashore, it's not too far from where Port Royal. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Go ahead, Adesoji.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, we have to also understand that the reason the government got to know about it is either through the locals or through somebody reporting it, because ordinarily you're talking about a huge coastline. Jamaica is an island, so you could have landed anywhere. So the idea that you have your Coast Guard, come on, I'm sorry.
No excuse that one. There's certain things.
Adesoji, let me tell you something about JA. Let me tell you something about my island here. Everything turn over there, so everything. Chicken chuck, swap chuck, rum chuck, beer chuck, everything. We never get a container yet. Me can't remember. Moments we ever get a container yet?
Not that I'm aware of. It's possible.
Popsicle.
But I don't.
Deacon Popsicle.
No,
we ever
this
get
is
a
the
container
first
yet?
one. This is
So
the
in
first one.
all the years. Look here, me I don't want conspiracy theories, you know. Me realistic, but sometimes me look up brain whisper something to me. Something nobody can tell me say that straight right there. So you can't listen. Adesoji, I value your brain. Okay, talk to me nice. Okay, Talk to me nice.
Okay. In street speak, the container was liberated, and that's why you have free chicken. Good.
Look what
I
he
saw a
said.
guy with about
Look what
20.
he said in the. Hey, I'm finished.
I saw a guy with about 20 chicken in his fridge. Yeah. You know, and him said chicken Monday to Sunday. And that's, yeah,
Where's
every
that?
single day.
Where's the popsicle? Brown stew chicken, fricassee chicken, fried chicken, baked chicken, barbecue chicken, jerk chicken, roast chicken, curry
Everything.
chicken,
Everything chicken.
chop suey, chicken chop suey, chicken anywhere you want it. We got it. Hey, your belly I got run up blouse and skirt. Make sure to have enough toilet paper. Make sure to have water. That's all we can do. We have to allow common sense prevail. But and you know the funny thing, when I saw the video, the first time I saw the video last week, posted up on social media, and I saw the comments about God bless we. My folks in Jamaica, I can only ask you to exercise common sense. Don't do it. Don't do it. You might look at it as a blessing, but it can also turn out to be your worst nightmare. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah.
Guess
But
what chicken they can catch? We
want to
in a
point,
buy Fowler supermarket.
you know what?
Yes.
I want to point out something that happened 2 years ago about this same time. There was a case where a hotel industry actually dumped some chickens at the Riverton dump.
I remember that story.
And a lot of persons went into the dump. They were jerking the chickens and actually selling them. And that's the same thing they said. They said that God sent this chicken for us to make money.
Mhm. I remember that story. We never learn. But again, always poor people get catch. Always poor people get catch. Always poor people because of desperation.
That's some bionic people, man. Damn.
All right. Madness. Indeed. I agree. All right. Time for us to keep it moving. We still have a few more stories in the Caribbean corner. Next up, time for we go up on the ball field, go up on the field. It's our sports news. Michael Johnson reflects on a game-changing Grand Slam track launch in Jamaica. How was the turnout? What I saw on TV, I don't know if it's a full stance. Was there a good turnout, my Jamaican people? What would you say? What was the reception like for the Grand Slam? All right, let's go ahead and get into this article, courtesy of CaribbeanNationalWeekly.com. Beneath the warm Caribbean sun, a revolution in track and field quietly took flight and then roared. The first ever Grand Slam track meet held in the track and field mecca of Kingston was nothing short of electric, leaving athletes, fans, and organizers in awe. At the center of it all stood Michael Johnson, four-time Olympic champion and the visionary behind this new league, still basking in the afterglow of what he proudly calls a game changer. He said it was amazing, it was great, and it was fantastic. The athletes were happy. They can't stop talking about the experience they had there. The fans loved it. People on social media are just buzzing about how great this was. Everybody in the track world is talking about it, which is exactly what we wanted. It couldn't have been better. The 3-day meet showcased a thrilling new competition format designed to emphasize head to head clashes between the best in the world. It featured 12 slam champions crowned across 8 events and a tight TV friendly structure. The new league's format strips down the clutter, prioritizing drama, clarity, and fierce competition. More than just a rebranding, Grand Slam track aims to modernize the sport while staying grounded in its roots. There's a reason Johnson and his team chose Kingston, a place etched in sprinting history, as the league's launch pad. They said, or he said, we wanted to honor the heritage of Jamaica and impact it and the impact it has had on the sport. And I think we did that. I have a deep appreciation for the history of Jamaican track and field, and the cultural legacy gave us a really cool vibe here. Athletes didn't just show up, they showed out. Everybody thought it was the time, Johnson explained, but it wasn't just the time, it was the level. You had the Olympic champion in the 200 meter, the Olympic champion in the 400 meter, who just ran the fastest time recently. They all wanted to be in the slam champion, and that race came down to the wire. Everyone in the stadium was on their feet, and I bet everyone at home was too. That's what this sport is about, and you don't get that anywhere else. Well, is this something that they're going to be doing in Jamaica? Full stop? Well, not necessarily, folks, because the Grand Slam track is designed to evolve and fast from Kingston to Miami and then on to Philadelphia and Los Angeles. The format invites fresh talent to challenge and earn their way into the spotlight. The results? Phones ringing off the hook. So, let us hope it's a yearly thing and it will always kick off in Jamaica. What's the feedback? Any feedback on this, Popsicle, Alexia, from the Jamaicans? What are they saying about this?
I didn't see it on TV. I didn't know it was even happening.
I saw the advertisement. I mean, this is nothing from my feed. I'm sorry. I can't lie about it. But Champs was all over it. Like,
yeah, Champs was a big deal. I mean, so you tell me, say, Champs outshine.
Always. The only thing you're outside Champs is Olympics.
Yeah, there's no sporting event that actually champs.
Yeah. The only thing, and I don't know what the Olympics can outshine Champs and are just particular races. I'm sorry.
So my question is, it looks as though there was poor marketing on the side of who is in charge of sports down there? Which ministry? Who head up that?
No, Babsy.
Oh, Auntie Babsy. Oh, Jesus.
I'm just.
Oh, Jesus. Auntie Babsy.
But me and Papi are just two people, you know, and we work hard. You know, so you can't really, you know, right?
We're on the internet though. No, I don't think anybody was too interested. It was maybe foreigners.
Oh, no. Auntie Babsy.
Where was it? Where was it held?
It was held in Kingston. Auntie
My
Babsy.
thing about it was too close to Champs.
Okay. Timing. Okay. But still, even without, okay, hold on the Popsicle. Jamaica. It's the entertainment mecca of the Caribbean. In a Jamaica, and this is not just today. I'm thinking back to my days in Kingston where any pan knock me the dead. Not any pan, but party back to back. You just step on the entertainment scene back in the day, right? What's the difference? People show up. You could have a dance. You could have a party this weekend, and I want next weekend. We showing up because we're about a good time. So I think the problem here is that Auntie Babsy dropped the ball in terms of marketing. I don't know if she did, and if she didn't, she should have partnered with the Ministry of Tourism, with Uncle Ed over there, right? Because he's doing a phenomenal job. I think more of an awareness should have been raised, because herein lies an opportunity for local athletes. And if I stand to be corrected, and anybody with information, feel free to correct me on this. But I think this was a welcome opportunity for local talent to get exposure, to showcase their talents, right? I don't know. They dropped the ball. when I saw the thing on TV, because of course my husband and watch sports a lot, and I was like, but hold on, how the stands them look so? That was my thing. And Jamaica is huge on sprinting and track and field. You know what I mean? So I expected that it was going to be ram packed. I expected that people were going to be trying to climb over the walls to get in. That was my expectation. Missed opportunity. Granted, I will say this from the tourism aspect or tourism stance. Johnson is saying that the athletes were asking if they could stay a few extra days because they wanted to indulge in the island. They enjoyed the experience of being in Jamaica, so far. So, and that's a missed opportunity. In this case, Auntie Babs and Uncle Ed are going to have to work together. Uh, Hopefully, it will be there next year, but work together to see how we can have it um, known around the world. And if not the world, at least across the Caribbean region. I'm just saying. But thank you for bringing it to Jamaica, Mr. Johnson. Thank you for recognizing that we are the home of track and field talent. I'll leave it right there. Next up, we're going to coffee pot. Dong in our coffee pot for our entertainment news out of the Caribbean corner. Vibes Cartel, what's on the news? I'm out. Vibes Cartel announces first Florida show in over 20 years. This article, courtesy of Caribbean National Weekly. I need to buy a lot of ticket because there's so much happening that I need to go to. But I need to buy a lot of ticket. I need to try my luck and see if I can win some money quick and fast. Dance hall icon Vibes Cartel is officially returning to the Florida stage. The Miami Vice episode DJ announced via social media that he will perform in Miami on May 17, 2025, marking his first Florida appearance in more than 2 decades. The highly anticipated event, powered by Live Nation, is set to take place at Amarant Bank Arena, a venue with a capacity of over 20,000. The show, promoted under the banner Vibes Cartel and Friends, follows his 2-night concert, Reggae Fest, the return of Vibes Cartel, and that was at the Barclays Center, of course, up there in Brooklyn, New York, on April 11 and 12 of this year. The performances mark Cartel's return to the U.S. stage after more than 20 years, following the reinstatement of his visa in January. While the Miami Flyer teases performances from Cartel's musical collaborators, no supporting acts have been confirmed yet, and ticket sales have not officially opened. An announcement is expected soon. So, people, wanna fill up the stadium 20,000. Can he do it? Do you think he can do it here in Miami? Fort Lauderdale, to be exact, is where the stadium is. Sunrise, Florida. Do you think he can do it?
You can.
I think so. There are more
Yeah.
Jamaican living outside of Jamaica and they are actually living here. So yeah, the diaspora is quite large in numbers.
And when is it being held? Weekday or weekend?
Weekend, of course.
So people are gonna drive in. There's a drive.
Say
And
some
they
people.
don't
Yeah.
go on.
No.
Yeah.
You carry on. You carry on. My bad.
And people don't have they don't have a Trump problem, so they'll be fine.
Say you're wrong for that.
Did I say something?
Yeah, you're wrong for that. You're wrong for that one day. You need to take that back. Rescind that statement there. Retract that statement there.
Okay, let's just say they don't have an IC problem.
YouTube, beg you a second there, YouTube. Me I beg you no 1 minute there, YouTube. 1 little minute on a time there, YouTube. Forgive me, YouTube. That's it. Turn off the dance. Lock it off. And it's summertime too, for sure. School will be out, so parents, Caribbean parents, the business with them pitting them time there. I hope you're not getting the feedback. I have a lot of feedback coming through, so I hope y'all are not hearing it. Go ahead, Soji.
The Caribbeans are gonna turn up.
It's going to be a movie.
And a half.
Let's take it and see if I can get 2 seats. See if I can take it in. I'm gonna try. Not sure though.
Lots of credits.
I mean, it's just up the road. What time it's supposed to start? Because if it's past my bedtime, that's what I think. After a certain time, I naturally drop asleep. Dog, my age is no pub.
So you are that auntie that snores at the concert.
Maybe sleep in a one dance. Listen, no run with me. When sleep take a hold of me, I sleep. You could have knocked steel pan like you did actually dad. For real, me sleep. When sleep get a hold of me, I sleep. I mean, you know what I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. But pick up yourself, Cartel. I'm sure. What's the price? Talk to me, Mr. President. What's the price up there? Make we hear what the price is for New York now. You see, if I don't have money, I'll fly to New York with my friend them up there, my CIT family up there, so let us go. What are the prices, Mr. President? To be poor is a crime in this thing called life.
Yeah, you have some nosebleed ticket all 400. The nosebleed 170 something, 800 and something, 600 and something. Hey, NASA.
Oh,
For what? For the used car?
Even have a ticket for $1,800.
Why come
What
with
that
why
is?
come with some Perdix chicken?
From the stage, 1,800. That come with young ones. Them ticket is multiply. There's a lifetime supply.
Is that a resale? Is that resale price or face value?
On the official sites, on the official ticket sites. I think the cheapest one is what 174 in nosebleed, 170 something or 160 something.
Was it not this time last year we were talking that they might not be filled? No, it was for somebody else. Sorry, it was for, yeah, it was some.
All right.
But if you want to be in front of the stage, you have to shell out at least a 1,500. If you want to be up front and center.
No, nobody spit for me. So here, no, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Somebody who going
Have a whip around.
Somebody who is going, please make sure you live stream the thing. Because I don't have them kind of money there. I have bills to pay. I have a 6 a week in my family. I have 4 pitney and a four man me have. Yeah. 4 man pitney me have 18 to 27 and I have to feed them. Them nyam. They don't eat. And my grocery bill, not pretty. I have to put the food first.
I could donate some chicken and it's already washed and sea salted.
All the way from Brazil, very naked.
Well, there goes my dream of being at in Sunrise that weekend. But me tell us, I'm gonna buy a lotto ticket, you know. I might just win the lotto ticket, might just win the lotto. If I win the lotto, you will know. I'll be there. Up front and center too. Yeah. By the way, best of the best in Miami, Memorial Day weekend. Rosolo, you think we should move it to Miami? Best of the best, Buju, Barris. Should we boycott Atlanta Carnival? Best of the best, Memorial weekend, this Memorial Day weekend, this Sunday. Mr. President says, zip it. Best of the best returns. Talk up the things then, Popsicle. What say you?
You know what? I don't want to cramp anybody's spirit, but just remember the tariffs, people. Egg prices have raised, so you have to be careful.
Oh, Jesus. This was an escape from the reality what we soon talk about down the road, Popsicle.
Keep your
Popsicle.
feet on the ground.
Wait, coming to think about it, that having the 10% tariff on it? I'm just
Yeah,
checking.
exactly. Listen, who printed the tickets? The Chinese? That would be 100%, you know.
104 to be exact. By the way, the Penguins have retained an attorney. Yep, the Penguins have retained an attorney because they cannot understand why for the life of them they have had a reciprocal tariff placed upon them, considering the fact that they manufacture nothing, they export nothing, they import nothing. So they have garnered the services of an attorney to help them to have a conversation with our president.
Yeah, but they're eating from our international waters, so they have to pay something.
Yeah, the taxing them for the fishes, you know, that they eat.
Fishy, fishy, fishy. Oh Lord. What kind of what soccer song is that again? By the way, Jamaica Carnival is coming up, kicking off next week. So next week and Easter weekend. Lord of mercy. Tickets to Jamaica. If you have not yet purchased your airline tickets, I'm sorry for you if you have fly out to Miami. I'm sorry for you. Jump on a boat and go on down a yard. That's all I can say. Jump on a boat and go on down. All right, next up. So we're done with the Caribbean corner. It is now time. We don't have any stories out of Latin America. It's time for stories on the international scene. Let's go. DR Congo repatriates 3 U.S. citizens. Oh, but before I do that, 22 minutes before the top of the hour, want to say thank you to everyone listening on QMZRadio.com, JanoRadio.com, MadMusicHouse.com. Thank you to everyone here with me on YouTube and on TikTok. Appreciate each and every one of you. And reminder, Coffee and Toe is brought to you in part by LormelSkinFood.com for a natural, beautiful you. And Grant Coffee, head on over to grantcoffeehouse.com. Enjoy 20% off all coffee products. At checkout, use the code CoffeeInToe20. To make it easier for you, you can just, if you're on TikTok, thank you again, Niece. I can't stop telling Niece thank you for helping me to fix my links over here on TikTok. So you can click the link in the bio for Coffee and Toe, and that will take you to our website. And you just head on over to the shop page to find the links for Lormel Skin Food and GrantCoffeehouse.com. All right. Okay. On to the next one. DR Congo repatriates 3 U.S. citizens convicted over failed coup. And this is an update because this came to the forefront I want to say, was it this year or last year, toward the end of last year? But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. This article, courtesy of Al Jazeera.com. Yes, why, Adesoji? By the way, Adesoji, let's see if we can. What time class start? Our time. Because there's a story I want to confirm with you. I did some, probably let me do that one first, because before you go, I know you have to go to class.
I'm still here till 5. Okay, what time is
you don't have class today?
No, I have class, but 5 o'clock.
Which is what time? Our time.
So it's about 20 minutes. In 20 minutes.
Okay, so let me do this story first. Okay, let us do this one first before I do that one. Hold on. Where is you? Where is you? Where is you? Where are you? Here we go. Ibrahim Traore survives assassination.
Africa is in shock. A chilling assassination attempt on Burkina Faso's revolutionary leader, President Ibrahim Traore, was foiled just seconds before the trigger was pulled. This breaking story is shaking global politics, and what's even more disturbing, rumors say powerful foreign forces may have been involved. What really happened? Earlier today, during a National Youth Empowerment Summit in Ouagadougou, a man disguised as a security officer got within 10 meters of President Traoré, carrying a high-powered concealed weapon. Just as the gunman raised the weapon, Traoré's elite guards tackled him to the ground in front of live cameras. Screams erupted from the crowd. Traoré remained calm, signaling to the people, "I am not afraid. Burkina Faso will not kneel." Who was behind it? The would-be assassin is reportedly not a local, and initial investigations link him to foreign-funded organizations operating in West Africa. Intelligence sources claim the man received money from a foreign bank account and traveled from a neighboring country just days before the attack. One anonymous government insider said, "This wasn't random. This was a well-planned attempt, possibly orchestrated by forces that fear Africa rising." Western reaction raises eyebrows. While most African leaders condemned the attempt, Western silence is loud. The US and France have yet to make official statements, causing online speculation to explode. Social media users are asking, why aren't the West speaking up about the attempt on Africa's most fearless leader? Are they involved? Traoré speaks out, unshaken and defiant. Hours after the incident, Traoré addressed the nation. "They tried to silence me, but I speak for the people. As long as I breathe, Africa will rise. Not even a bullet can stop this revolution." Crowds flooded the streets in solidarity, chanting, "We are all Traoré. Africa is awake." The aftermath. Security tightened. Support grows. The gunman is in custody, and interrogation is underway. Security across Burkina Faso has been heightened, with military units stationed around government facilities. Traoré's support has skyrocketed, with Africans across the continent calling him the bulletproof voice of Africa. Could more attempts be coming? With Traoré's rise threatening foreign control, experts warn this may not be the last attack. But the people say they can't kill a movement. Even if they take him, the fire he started will never die. This is no longer just about Burkina Faso. This is about the future of Africa. Do you stand with Traoré? Comment below and share.
Other soldier, true or false?
It's hard to believe what, for one, all this AI generated movies. I mean, it's not that the guy doesn't have the eye of the West on him, but I won't go with all this AI generated thing, especially when, I mean, even if there were to be the case, the Western press will carry it, and the reason they will carry it is if it's unsuccessful, it's a way of saying, well, that attempt you did did not go through. So, because they usually use the press to announce all the dastardly acts, but it's just the way the stories is framed. The coup in Iran was announced through the press. The BBC was the one that carried it. BBC gave the guys inside the go-ahead, and all of this is not. This is based on archive that was subsequently released. With regards to various coups that have happened in Africa, the ones that have been backed by the West, you can read about that in what's it called? What's this book called? White Malice, the recolonization of Africa by the CIA, CIA Chronicle. So I don't think so. I mean, it's not that it doesn't have enemies, but it's just that maybe this time somebody's just cooking up a story.
Okay, go ahead, Pops. Thank you, other soldier. Go ahead, Pops. Go.
Isn't this like the third attempt? This is nothing new. I mean, Fidel Castro, I think, how much was it? 80 something
75 times. 75 times.
Okay, so this is just what?
Carry on, gentlemen, I have to step
No, I
up.
heard,
It will be?
Carry on.
no, I heard unofficially that there was about almost 15 attempts already. There were 3 attempts probably in the first year of his tenure. some linking directly to friends. But I find it's very difficult to find to get any news out of Burkina Faso. You can't if you do get a paper, it's in French. I don't speak French. And I find the articles is almost like they suppressing the articles of the progress and the things that's going on in Burkina Faso. Yes, stories are coming out, but an official articles, and you don't ever see them in the Western press. Right?
Yeah, because it doesn't support the narrative they want to portray. And as long as that's the case, it's either our way or nobody hears anything about it. So, I mean, if you want to hear about, what's it called? About happenings in West Africa, yeah, French press staff speak. That thing even pays me saying it that way. If you want to hear news about West Africans that speak French, you could read La Figaro and Le Monde. Those two, La Figaro more so, because La Figaro is much more of an international newspaper. Obviously, they will told the official French line, but you can sort of get a glimpse. And you could get a free trial of reading it, after which is about, I think it's about $3 a month, which is what I pay. So, and it gets translated into English. So that's the way you sort of know. I mean, you get a glimpse of whether something is true or not just by reading between the lines, because they're not going to tell you that we tried to do this and it was unsuccessful. So.
I think the most we can hear in the news, of course, regaining the Panama Canal, yeah, and the tariffs.
Well, yeah, Trump's tariffs and Panama Canal or getting back Greenland, or what's the other one? There are a couple of them actually. So Greenland
for the stupid penguin story.
The stupid penguins, the stupid act of putting sanctions on your own military base in the name of tariffs. Yeah.
Yeah. And the one that you were so concerned about yesterday, the coffee. Yeah. Making it illegal to have excess amount of it.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yes. Yeah, but you want your news like that, It's a bit sad though. But of course, we understand that it doesn't support the narrative.
Like I've said on multiple levels, it's time that most of the likes of what Moments is doing here, reaches and locks with something similar on the continent. And you could do cross-pollination. You appear on each other's channel, and before you know it, once those kind of things grow, you sidestep all of this. I mean, it's already been done in the United States. Once they fired all this, their popular heads, the likes of Don Lemon, what's the lady? Why do I keep forgetting her name? Miss Reed. What's her first name?
Joy
Reid. Yeah. Joy Reid. Yeah. The moment you have people like that come away from mainstream media, mediation, that's them basically seeding the ground. And so what Africa can do, and the Caribbean, is to use those kind of examples to build some sort of hybrid network of news sharing. And so, and before you know it, they will come to you for news, which will be a celebration in itself. Because once they start coming to you for news, you can syndicate and charge them exorbitant amount of money just to get your stories. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Hold on, we're just walking. Okay, I'm just coming back. What we're syndicating? Talk to me. What we are syndicating now?
No, we were talking about the lack of transparency with regards to what's happening in Burkina Faso. And Mr. President chimed in that the news coming out of the place is pretty much filtered to the point where even in official circles, you can't get an idea of what's going on. I said, well, the pushback against that would be if we're to use examples of the likes of Joy Reid, Mehdi Hassan, what's his name? Don Lemon, who have left mainstream media and now doing their stuff on YouTube, we can also do something similar. And then what we can do is create some sort of hybrid network where the news you talk about are channeled onto, channeled onto somebody else's platform in Africa and vice versa. And before you know, you do that cross-pollination back and forth. Before you know it, you become the go-to persons for news, as opposed to switching on the BBC or reading the Voice of America. That's not even a veritable one to go to right now. And you know, all of the like. So that's something that one should look at. And because like there's also the thing about having a place where you can park your content after it's been done so that it doesn't get lost in the social media rabbit hole. So you need a website. It needs to be on the website, and that place be the the gathering, the watering hole, as it were, for people who really want to.
But aren't we already headed in that direction? I want to say that we are already building that bridge. Of course, it takes time. And I mean, when you think about where we started back in 2022, January 2022, where we started and where we are now, April 2025, we have slow, yes, I will agree, slow, but good things take time, right?
I won't say slow, I would say intentional. That's intentional. Intentional is because you were intentional about the fact that YouTube, you never knew you were going to be doing a simulcast, as they would say.
Right.
Yeah, but here we are. You're doing simulcast, even triple cast. This is proper syndicated kind of stuff. You know, you've got the radio angle, you've got YouTube, and you've got here. And so if the platform we previously were on had grown and pushed in the direction, that could have been the place where you can be pushing out stuff from. You understand? So, but needs a must, and here we are. So
we're building, and before you know it, we'll get there day by day, brick by brick, little by little. We bite off our chunks, and we have always held fast to the rule that we will not just take what the West says. We discuss these things, and that's why it's so important that we have a space where folks from all over the world, such as yourself, can come and say, whoa, hold on a second, shed some light, give us some clarity. We have the differing perspectives, right? And
very much so, very much so, very much so, very much so.
And the discourse is important. The discourse is important.
Exactly. And because the discourse allows for dissenting voices, it's not sterile like what you have on mainstream media, where guardrails are put on conversations.
Yeah. And granted, we do operate within limits, right? We do operate within limits because we're very cognizant of what is looming out there, right? So we still...
Yeah, I mean, reasonable restraint. Obviously, you're not going to go out of your way to instigate something that does not happen. You're not reporting on anything that's not happening. You're voicing an opinion on it.
Right.
And the opinions are grounded in facts, a lived experience, and stuff like that. Unlike when people go out of their way to build to create a narrative that doesn't exist, which is what is happening in quarters that one shall not name. I yield.
All right, let's go ahead with the article, because I know you have 5 minutes before you have to tap out. The one that we were going to start with initially, DR Congo repatriates 3 U.S. citizens convicted over failed coup. This article courtesy of Al Jazeera. 3 United States citizens initially sentenced to unaliving in the Democratic Republic of Congo over a botched coup attempt have been repatriated after Kinshasa commuted their unaliving sentences to life imprisonment last week. Congolese presidential spokesperson Tina Salama said on Tuesday that the three men, including the son of political exile Christian Malanga, who led the attack on the presidential palace in May last year, would all serve out their life sentences in the United States. Marcel Malanga, 21, claimed he had been forced to take part by his father, who live streamed from the palace during the coup attempt before being shot and unalived by Congolese forces. Also repatriated were Tyler Thompson Jr., 21, a friend of the younger Malanga, and Benjamin Ruben Zalman Pulun, 36, who reportedly got to know the father through a gold mining company. U.S. Department of State spokesperson Tammy Bruce confirmed the transfer on Tuesday, saying that the U.S. condemned the armed attacks and supported DR Congo's bid to hold the convicts accountable, but that it also sought consistent, compassionate, humane treatment and a fair legal process. All right, done. Gonna tell me everything me need to know right there. So in that last fragment, and I'll read it again. U.S. Department of State spokesperson Tammy Bruce confirmed the transfer on Tuesday, saying that the U.S. condemned the armed attacks and supported DR Congo's bid to hold the convicts accountable, but that it also sought consistent, compassionate, humane treatment and a fair legal process. Madam Talk.
What does the last paragraph mean under the law? Shouldn't it just be tried like regular criminals or regular persons? Why you have to put in all that there?
It's a message.
And
it's
are
a
they coming back
message.
here? Are they coming back here to face trial? Were they extradited, or were they released back to the US?
It's a coded
Because
message.
it's sort of vague. I'm not sure if it's a case where they're coming back here to face trial, they're extradited back to the US, but they can't be extradited here if the crime was committed in the Congo.
Mr. President, it's a coded
message. You could probably provide more clarity.
It's a coded message. That's all I'm gonna say. Read between the lines. You have 2 minutes, Adesoji, because I know you gotta go.
They've got there's a history of mercenaries interfering with the affairs of state in Africa. There is an old movie out there. I enjoy people to go watch it. It's titled Wild Geese. Wild Geese. If you watch it, you would see what. Oh God! I mean, even just remembering that film at the moment now just makes me, just makes me boil. When that sentence was carried out, when that sentence was dropped, that they should be unalive, that evening, it will be done. We've seen this idea of you holding them only for them to be released. There's another one that happened a couple of years prior to this one, which is the subject of a book titled Cry Havoc. This is a guy who picked up bodies all over Africa, took a plane all the way from Harare. The plane that was supposed to bring the pew-pews was stopped in Harare because Mugabe's people saw the plane, they held the plane back, then they gave heads up to the guy they wanted to go and overthrow in Equatorial Guinea. So that guy, they were sentenced to a series of, one was life imprisonment, some were supposed to be unalived, but he was then commuted again to life imprisonment. And Lord and behold, a couple of years down the line, they were released. He's now in England, Oxford to be exact, writing books, giving talks about interfering in other people's countries. He's his co-conspirator, who happens to be the son of Margaret Thatcher, is in South Africa. So I said that to say this. If you do not consider the lives of your citizens as valuable as that of the Caucasians, you will continue to see this kind of transgressions. The moment you send a message that this kind of behavior is unacceptable, you will see them, they will stop. But leaving them, and I know why he left them, because he wants to do a deal on the Congo. That's why he left them. Yes, it's a sweet now. So that's why I said why. It's a sweet now. We know. We know. Anyway.
News nice. We don't need
Yes.
TV. We have news. Thank you.
But didn't the same government just unalive 200 youngsters for stealing?
That's why I said until you hold your own valuable, well,
they unalive them for stealing. 200 of them. And the process was so swift. I know they got due process. But the people that try to take the country, you just give them a first class ticket back home. How are you?
Gulfstream jet as well.
The fact that the US is condemning the armed attacks and support the Congo's bid to hold them accountable, but they're also saying that compassion needs to be in play and there needs to be humane treatment and a fair legal process tells me everything I need to know about what is going on over there in the DR as it relates to the Congo and Rwanda. Remember, we've been having conversations. Now we have got our answers. All right, we're done. And I don't think I have to go in depth. I think we all can read between the lines. Yeah. By the way, something just popped up. Lord of mercy. Amazon putting a halt to our. Anyway, that's coming up later on. How much it going to cost now to put on nails and all these things? Because everything come from overseas. How much it going to cost now? So how the nail shop them are going to deal with this? For us ladies who like, like for example, we're going out and we want to, add a little vavavoom to ourselves and thing. Here in the US, the coffee get a full set, depending on what you're getting. I think it starts at $75. Then $150 that now for one basic set, plus more. God have mercy. The wig them and the bundles that come out of China, all that I go. So a good bundle that used to cost $100, not $200. That no, Lord have mercy. Oh, I guess a lot of ladies are now going to be going without add-ons. We're gonna have to get to know ourselves again. No more tips for nails. No more hair. No more wig. What we are gonna do? What we are gonna do? Oh. All the people them. Lord Jesus, Lord, you know what? Stop, girls, stop. Anyway, let's keep it moving. Next up, 50 hippos killed, unalived by anthrax in the DR Congo. This article, courtesy of BBC.com. At least 50 hippos and other large animals have been unalived by anthrax poisoning in Africa's oldest national park, its director has said. Photos shared by Virunga National Park in the Democratic Republic of Congo show the motionless animals floating along the Ishasha River. Park officials say they first started appearing last week. Lormel skin food not easy, no. Be natural, be beautiful, be you, as per Lormel's slogan. Talk about things of Lormel, yes, Tasha. The exact cause of the poisoning is unknown, but tests have confirmed the presence of anthrax. How that reach this so? How that get this so? The park director said work was on the way to recover the animals and bury them to prevent further spread. But wouldn't it be better to burn them? I don't know, but it was difficult because there were no excavators. Burn them! It's difficult due to lack of access and logistics. Anthrax is caused by Bacillus anthracis or anthracis and can be deadly, but it usually does not spread easily. It largely survives as spores that hide away in soil for years before entering an animal through inhalation or a cut or wound. Huh. The Congolese Institute for the Conservation of Nature has warned residents to avoid wildlife and boil water from local sources before drinking. I have concerns. There is an attack. Call me a theorist, but there is an attack. By any means necessary, we are going to get into this section. Aziz saying, okay, Aziz, that's what you're saying. I see what you're saying. There is something going on. And as we know, like all of Africa, there are resources. So now I'm seeing a dubious way to attack the people. You're doing it through the environment. I see. Okay. So as he says here, depends. By burning, some chemicals might become airborne and spread easier. Can't they build an incinerator? I think that if they were to build an incinerator, would that still have the same effect on the environment and possibly affect humans? There's something going on. But the previous story and then this story, I already have my answers. I already have my answers. How are they going to clean up that threat? I have no clue, Jack. I have no clue. But somebody is paying somebody to do this damage. And if the somebody who is being paid by the somebody to do this damage, and you are in fact you have carried out the act, shame on you. You don't care about yourself. You don't care about your people. You don't care about your country. But you know, I said it yesterday, and I stand 10 toes down on this. And your enemy are your problem, and those people right next to you are your problem, because they will sell you out in a heartbeat. They will sell you for your bun and cheese. They will sell you for your Perdix chicken. They will sell you out for 2 shilling. They will sell you out for eat today and starve tomorrow. This is internal and external. We flood the region with weapons for the people. Them kill off their one and unalive. Excuse me, unalive. Forgive me, TikTok. Sorry, I'm still learning. Bad behaviors or habits take approximately 3 to 6 months to change. So please forgive me. Something that has been ingrained. The vocabulary has been ingrained in me since from the time I could attack. So from my baby till now, and I'm over 50, and you're asking me to change the way I speak quicker clock since the 28th of February when I decided to go live over here. It's kind of hard, but I'm getting it. The area is flooded with weapons. The weapons are not made in the area. They are imported, handed over to the people for them, turn them against them one another and unalive them one another. We have somebody who is sending their daughter-in-law's father there to that same region. Now the hippopotamus, them are coming to play. And for the hippopotamus, I am thinking to be affected by anthrax. It's something that them use to contaminate the grass, the water. And remember, water is the most vital resource. Humans drink from that same body of water. Can you all leave Africa alone? Please leave Africa alone. Leave the different countries in Africa alone. Maybe gonna do. And the people in Africa, whatever country you are in across the continent, please care more about your people than bowing down to outside folk who don't give two craps about you. They're only interested in getting to your resources because your resources is fundamental and instrumental in keeping their businesses going. Wake the heck up. And then all this conflict comes under the guise of politics and religion and tribalism. Not go son that's not the problem. Gonna have outside people interfering in a business and allowing it to happen. In the words of Tasha, mighty God of Daniel. Many rangers have been unalived protecting wildlife there. Why? 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 Wake up. Next. Nigerian makeup artist has been jailed for throwing cash at his own wedding. I thought throwing money at a Nigerian wedding was the thing. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this one. Article courtesy of BBC.com. A makeup artist in Nigeria has been sentenced to 6 months in jail for abusing the currency, the naira, by flinging it while dancing at his wedding celebration last December. He is popularly known as a Muscap on social media and was sentenced by a high court in the northern city of Kano minutes after pleading guilty to the charge. Flinging or spraying banknotes, as it is called in Nigeria, is often done at weddings and other celebrations to show a person's wealth and as an expression of joy. But the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has been waging a campaign against it, saying it shows disrespect for the naira, one of the country's most important symbols. A Muscap is the latest Nigerian to be imprisoned for violating the 2007 Central Bank of Nigeria Act. It states that the spraying of, dancing, or marching on the naira is an offense, with the punishment being no less than 6 months in prison or a 50,000 naira fine, or both. The EFCC said that a Muscap, while dancing during the wedding celebration, tampered with 100,000 naira by spraying the notes. And 100,000 naira is approximately 50 pounds or 64 US dollars.
Seriously, Nigeria? Only problems Nigeria have. You looking up people for dancing in a traditional wedding ceremony that they've been doing for centuries or for however long. Every Nigerian wedding I see, they do this thing and they do it with the US dollar too. So you're telling me all the problems Nigeria have, that is the one criminal they could find?
One pointed out the hypocrisy of allowing those alleged to have siphoned off the nation's wealth to go unpunished, yet jailing a man for spraying his own money. So me can't want me own money. If me want money gun it and make it spray all over the place, I'm my money. If I want dance on it, I'm my money. That's how me look on it. But I guess we are disrespecting the naira. So we worship the naira now. Of little value, the naira. 100,000 naira, 64 US dollar. That can buy grocery for a week. That's what we do in Nigeria. But Nigerians, let me say this. The Central Bank of Nigeria Act has been in place since 2007. So let me ask a question. All the Niger films that I have been watching, especially since the pandemic up until now, I'm missing them as spray the money. So hypocritical indeed. Do they get a pass because it's for the film industry? They're allowed to spray the money in the films, but not in real life? Make that make sense. Because when they spray the money in the films, I see they dance on the money, oh. I see them dancing on the money. So, folks, if you go to Nigeria, if you're invited to any event in Nigeria and you go with your wads of cash, please do not disrespect the people their money. I beg gonna do. Yeah, no disrespecting. Don't show no money. And the thing, disrespect people, not the money. Exactly. Rosolo said, now I have to cancel my Nigerian wedding. I didn't who is this person? I didn't hear about any Nigerian that you were supposed to be. I didn't get my dowry. Me need my dowry before you can talk about you're married to any Nigerian. We need at least $5 million US, please and thank you. £5 million. That too. Put also 5 million Canadian dollars.
Million naira coming up.
Me no want no naira. Keep that. Keep no cheap money over there. Me want pounds. Me want US dollars and me want Canadian. Right now, I'll take the Japanese money. Me take all that too.
All you're getting is a few cows and a couple of goat. So create the space for that in your yard.
Moments.
Dr. Leslie, you behaving yourself?
Never. Good behavior is boring. Bad behavior is boring. Hey, bad girl. Come on, the bad girl. Come on, you bad girl. Pull up. So like, hey, what's up? Lord of mercy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I must let you know that Dr. Leslie is a medical doctor.
Mm-hmm.
What's your specialty? Let the people that know your specialty, Dr. Leslie.
Medical doctor here, bringing life to the bar. Well, I'm an internist and a pediatrician. I'm also a physician advisor and a coach. I am also an artist. So I am not a usual kind of doctor because that would be boring. I am a Trini by birth, a Grenadian by being raised. I was raised by Grenadian ancestry, if you will. But yeah, that's me. All day long, do the butterfly. See, I'm doing the butterfly. Butterfly. Yeah, girl, lick your butterfly. Well, they break the beach and I say, Moments. I can't stay on here long, but let me tell you this real quick.
Yeah,
remember when I came on? Good vibes, I say. Remember when I said that Trinidad and Tobago would be in a very precarious situation with regards to oil once I saw the chummying up of the administration with Venezuela? Remember when I said that? I said that a month ago or more? Well, guess what? They just revoked some, permissions, if you will, that would allow Trinidad to drill licenses. They revoke licenses to allow Trinidad to drill in Venezuela. Therefore, that is going to impact our economy greatly because as Trinidad, we don't have a diversified economy. We haven't built that. So that's what's going on. This happened yesterday. So it was announced yesterday. This is a big deal.
Which media outlets? I can't find it on your
Trinidad. You have to go to the local newspaper. Okay. That ain't coming out in American newspaper because America don't want people to know the dirtiness. The dirty. They damn bad and stink and dirty. All on a dirty stink. Yes. So you have to go to Trinidad Guardian, Trinidad Express. You remember that song by Marshall and Bungie? They stink and dirty. Exactly. So it's gonna be very interesting because we have elections coming up at the end of April.
Yes.
28th.
And on top of that, they have put Trinidad and Jamaica on the bad list. They say, oh, no, bad. We don't have nobody travel there. I love when people love to take Yampy out your eyes, but the Yampy tick in their own. The Yampy tick, 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 tick in America eye, but they're talking about the rest of the world is so dangerous. Are you kidding me? We are now planning a Kim Jong-un, Putin-esque, Erdogan-esque parade for old boy there in DC.
Up your
yes, ma'am. And may God bless her heart. She's very even keel in public, but behind the scenes, she cussing because it's going to damage the roads. She said, well, if they intend to bring tanks, because that's it, they want tanks. You see madness going, yo, listen. Oh no, let me see. When Jesus, let me see your time schedule. When Jesus' time schedule? I'm running to see Jesus' time schedule. Jesus, you come in when you come in, Father. Come in, Father. I'm telling you, this is crazy. But you know, sometimes the only way to tolerate this kind of stuff is to be mad right along with them. When mad people acting mad, if you act mad with mad people, then it wouldn't make it so mad, the madness they're carrying on with. I hope I catch that.
I catch it. But that's why we have to laugh so much over here and act a fool over here with the news, because it is so serious.
Listen.
It is so serious. We can't help but laugh. Yeah, I see the story. Dragon gas deal unalived.
Yes.
Coquina mannequin also shelved as U.S. revokes Venezuela gas exploration licenses. Thank you for the update, Dr. Leslie. We needed it.
Fine, Danny. I bring the news. I bring the updates. Hello. Ting, 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 ting. I bring the
Dr.
news.
Leslie.
Darling, where's it?
Morning, love.
Morning, baby.
We have a question for you. Your fans want to know if you're going to be here for Atlanta Carnival.
Atlanta Carnival? Is Atlanta Carnival in August?
No, Memorial Weekend.
Me?
Memorial Weekend.
Is it Memorial? Oh no, darling. Sorry, I don't carnival with the peasants.
Okay.
Sorry. No, I'm joking. I actually am going to be in oh, you know what? I might be able because I'm going to the French Open that week, that Tuesday.
Peasants indeed. I understand why you would say that to us. Peasants indeed.
Well, you know, this is a thing. I love how China clap back. China say, well, no. The author of Hillbilly Elegy calling Chinese peasants little fat toy. You see, and you know what they show? They show the fat boy picture. The Chinese savage, you know. Oh yeah, don't mess with Chang Chong Magahai, right? Don't mess with Chang Chong Magahai. I'm telling you.
Lord Jesus, I try all it together. See,
Dr. Leslie, try and come to Atlanta for
Memorial Day weekend. That's where we're gonna be. We're gathering in Atlanta. Gonna be madness. Check your schedule.
I promise you're going to have a good time. I promise. Atlanta will not disappoint.
So hold on there. One more mad person at the crew.
Sweetheart, I hate to break it to you, but I bring the big time, the good time. I am the good time. You hear? Listen, I just be right here up in my house. Having a good time. Yes, good time. Where they? Adeya, where the good time? Shidea, and the good time.
Oh, mercy. Hey, Atlanta now go good again.
Listen. I don't know about Atlanta Carnival because I want to see real man. I come in Carnival to see real man.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
I don't like mix up things so.
No, well, luckily it's the Caribbean. I don't know what to say.
Oi. Somebody say oi for sure. Because
come help me. No. You have to remember, people travel to Atlanta Carnival. The good thing about this year, it's finally one carnival. I'm in tears. Finally one carnival. So no, the men are here. They will represent.
All right.
No.
Well, if the men are here, the men will be here too. If the men are here, the men will be here too.
Oh, Jesus have mercy.
You know,
The men
Dr.
coming for the
Leslie,
men. The men coming for the men.
Dr. Leslie,
darling, sweetheart.
it won't be as traumatic as you think it is. I promise.
Oh, Jesus.
Baby,
Oh.
when I wind back, so when I see a nice big muscle man, and I wind back, so and next thing you know, him flip him wrist. Got me all like I was like, oh, nice man. How you doing, girl? Hell no.
No, I promise, Dr. Leslie, it won't be that bad. I pray it won't.
Because you can't take it.
Oh,
we needed the intermission. All right.
Dr. Leslie, try your best and come. DM me. Try your best and come, and I'll give you the information.
Oh, Jesus have mercy.
I think I cried out at contact. Oh gosh, I can't see out of one eye. Oh,
no, brother. Listen. Welcome to Coffee and Toe, folks. Yeah, this is how we deal with the news. This is how the news go right here on Coffee and Toe World News on the Go. We are not a normal news podcast.
They're not normal at all.
And will never be. So if you're looking for normal, wrong place you there be.
Run it.
But yes, the Caribbean as a whole has been impacted and will be impacted by the decisions of the North. And yesterday we said that the Caribbean needs to recognize that we are not friends with the North. We're not. They are not our friends. Otherwise, they wouldn't make the decisions that they make, knowing how it could impact the Caribbean. The US does not have a trade deficit with the Caribbean. Does not. We in the Caribbean import way more from the US than we export to the United States. And that is a fact. But we're punished anyway.
Thing moments. We export a lot to the US. A lot to the US. We export brains and brawn to the US. We export our people. We export dreams to the United States. A lot of change. Listen, the civil rights movement could not happen with the Caribbean input. You understand me? From Marcus Garvey to Stokely Carmichael to the whole list, C.L.R. James, the whole list go down. The intellectual capital that we have exported to the United States cannot be paid for. They can't pay us back for that. Okay? If it were not for Haiti, the slaves would not know how to revolt in the United States. So let us not mistake the value that we bring as a Caribbean people. We are worth so much more. And you know, my master's thesis, I did some work on what I call barrel children. And we need to go back and look at that, of how we have exported, how America has sold the American dream to the Caribbean. And we mothers have left children on the islands in search of the American dream. And we wonder why our society is so disconnected in terms of children, and there's a loss of community. That's because there was a loss of nurturing. Mm-hmm. Mothers left their children in search of the American dream and sent back goods in a barrel to suffice for the hug of a mother. Don't get me started on that, because I interviewed hundreds of girls in Trinidad. Hundreds of girls wrote their story, okay? And the impact that it had on them. To this day, these grown women are still dealing with that rejection, that abandonment that they feel. So it's a costly thing. We have paid a huge price when it comes to our export. You understand? Don't get me started, you know. You get me serious. I get real serious quick, boy. Woof.
No, we need that. We need the confirmation. We spoke about this. I think it was last year. We had an in-depth conversation about the phenomenal marketing plan that the US has put together. Not only the US, Canada, England. That test less.